What's up, friends? Hello and welcome to Collegiate Fight Night Arena here on Giant Slayer. It's your boy F. Dot and Jamerson. What's up, man? You ready to do this again?
Oh yeah, super down, super down. It was unfortunate what happened last week, but what can you do when Riot servers go down?
Yeah. Oh well. Riot though, Valorant though, we're right on the cusp of new stuff. Right, we've got some interesting things coming out. What is that, tomorrow that we have the new season?
Got the new skins as well. I'm really excited for those.
I saw you online getting really amped about the.
Yo, just take my money. Just take it.
I'm excited to see different stuff come out, right? Because the first couple of skins, I was like, but these latest ones are kind of dope. I do have a question, actually. Well, you know, we've got games to get to, but in beta, those skins had these like laser noises. Did they decide that was a bad idea? Because I always
So the dragon skins have their noises as well. So they're not completely against that. But this new line of skins looks absolutely sick right now. It really does connect with the streetwear kind of hype beast vibe that the characters already had, or a lot of the characters already had. So I'm really enjoying that they're able to explore that aesthetic.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun look, more of a low to the ground stuff. We've got college on the way, and so we've got two matches for you. UC Irvine is going to take on UT Dallas, and then later on we're going to see Utah versus Ryerson. The winners of these will go on to face off against each other in a best of three. So our two teams here, presented by Sizzle.gg, we've got UT Dallas with Cola, AJ Little, Bunny CS, Adolfo, Ryerson, and then UC Irvine will be Gozig, Ryun, Luder, Nibbler, and Platinum.
Yeah, and so last time we saw these, remember, it is a best of one tonight, right? Best of one, two of them, to see who moves on to the grand finals for the evening to play for the money. Last time we saw them, Dallas were slapping Irvine around, if I'm going to be completely honest, and I was not... I was really taken aback by that. And so a little bit of a lifeline here that effectively we have a remake. This time around, Irvine is going to be starting off on the defensive side. We'll see if they bring any different. I think we were playing on, I want to say Bind last time. This time around, we're going to be starting off on Split.
A little bit of a map change up here. Dallas picked the map, so Irvine got the choice if they want to start off on offense or defense, and they're going to go defense, which is pretty much the default. Split is an interesting one. I like to talk about how this one might be the other way around, because it's pretty wide here when it comes to making the rotations from point A to point B.
Yeah, it feels like on this map in particular, just because of the distances that you have to cover and the distances that people can hear you from, you have to walk everywhere, even when you're in spawn. And so if you're trying to rotate from A to B or B to A without mid control, it just takes forever, an eternity. But here on Split, it's a lot of people just don't like the offense because it feels very one-dimensional in how you have to approach it. Try to push B main feels very difficult without mid control, and so if you try to go for A instead, it's still, you know, you've got one lane basically to try and push. You got to also push up to heaven to try and control that as well, and so attacking can be very difficult here. This is one of those maps I think that if we do see a Viper who's seeing a little bit more play now, this is one of those maps where I think she can shine, particularly on offense.
Yeah, you can really kind of take over certain areas. We saw some adjustments to Viper, which allowed her to kind of use her abilities a little bit more liberally, I think, is probably the end result of all the changes to the way her secondary power works. But why on Split specifically do you think we see more Viper?
There are some specific lineups with Viper, particularly on the A site, where you can cut down the sight lines a little bit easier. And the fact that you can continue to use those walls later on is more important, right? You can just replace them when you need to, and having the kind of ability to just create that easy entrance. I think just getting past that initial like A corner is the difficult part to try and get up to A ramp. And so she allows a lot of teams to be able to do that. Oftentimes, you know, we'll see teams using a brimstone and having to commit 2 or 3 smokes. And there you go. Once you commit those, you don't have smokes for the post plant. And so I think she does offer a little bit more utility than brimstone on that regard when it comes to the offense.
Yeah, I've seen people kind of walk away from Brimstone as before, where he was almost a staple in the very, very early side. Sage has kind of come in and out of the meta as we kind of thought we don't really need the healer, but then realized just how powerful the wall can be. Split particularly, I think she could be really, really effective.
Yeah, she can be a solid anchor on either B site or at mid. And so here we go, getting into game number 1, UCI versus Dallas. Dallas going to be starting it off here on the offensive end. And we do have to note that, of course, these are two powerhouses when it comes to collegiate esports. UC Irvine, no strangers whatsoever when it comes to collegiate esports and top-level collegiate esports in League of Legends, Overwatch, basically every game that they could throw money at, essentially. UT Dallas, though, Texas as a whole, as a state, is one of those states that just has gone full bore into collegiate esports, and I absolutely love it, seeing the kind of representation, Dallas, Austin, everywhere coming out from them.
Yeah, it's really insane kind of watching the amount of dedication these teams and these schools have kind of put forward. And so we're going to take a look at how their players make it work out. Here's Ryerson in the mid, defending this this spot, which, like I said, mid is going to be where most teams need to pay attention. Adolfo, though, on the B site, going to be the first one to lay down a frag to go their direction, but is traded out right away. And so it's going to be a 3-on-3. Irvine have to respond. Dallas, on the other hand, already on the site. Spike likely to go down.
Oh, that was a beautiful timing coming out from Ziggs there. As you saw, he was waiting with that paint shell the entire time, waiting for that plant sound, and then, of course, threw it out, got the connects, was able to stop the plants, and they end up winning that round. But we're also seeing, we saw in that round, why Sage is so important and why she was also running the Classic. Doesn't have the money for the Ghost because she goes full all in on that round number 1 because her utility is so strong in this pistol round.
Yeah, you see that a lot with Sages, and then sometimes Sovas will go for the shock darts instead of picking up the Classic. Everybody else generally can look to upgrade their pistol. Irvine this time around going to go for the submachine guns. This can leave you behind a little bit when the game gets into the mid stages, but for right now, they're just looking to bust it down and get these 2 wins right away. Yakuza finding a way around the wall. And there's going to be a little bit of help for the Sage player. Paranoia is going to cut down the lights, but not the death. 3 kills for Brimstone. And UT Dallas on the bad side, 1 player remaining.
Yeah, not much you can do on the eco round there when you decide to try and push up through mid. You got to know better than that. You know that the Sage wall is going to come up and you're going to be so slowed. But we talked about, of course, this 3rd round kind of awkward position that you're placed in. You had 4 SMGs, but it looks like we are going to see some investment coming into this round. We got 1 AR along with the operator coming up from Looter, Chansu coming in with that one. But I think it's okay to run the SMGs here just because of the distances that you have to play at. And with the rate of fire and with the distances that you can hold with these guns, the power difference isn't that different, I would say.
I generally agree, but this is when I go A, because that's when you will have the difference and the advantage. Looter, though, that the all in on the op definitely pays off.
That's odd, right? You never really see a Cypher player do that. Generally, it's going to be someone that's got some sort of escape, some sort of extra mobility. But he took his chance, and it was a 1v2, by the way. They weren't able to trade that one away. So that was a huge pickup for him, especially taking out the Raze, who offers so much in terms of entry ability onto a site now. We got 2 players over at long A. We got 2 players at mid. And this is just going to be a solid hold, it looks like, coming up from UC Irvine. They've got 3 people ready over at Heaven to move in if it's a mid push.
Bunch of time burned off the clock. 55 seconds remaining in the round here. 2 players still stuck over there in mid. Make that a 3rd. Omen's going to group up as well. Spike down over at A site. So UT Dallas playing it slow. Again, they are down a man thanks to the op play earlier on in the round. And A site looks like where they have to commit here, Jamerson. What's their best line of entry?
Right now, they just need to hit a big paranoia and just hope that the operator doesn't get anything else. But here they go. They're going to go ahead and smoke it off. But again, they have no answer for this operator right now. He just sees them coming right on through. This is going to be a clean round coming out from Irvine.
Yeah, nice play off of the reveal there, getting the kill through the smoke. And with 8 seconds left to go and every Molotov on the ground, that's going to be that and the kill. Bunny grabs 2, but unlikely to grab the round.
Oh, my God.
Down after the fact as well. Ouch.
Okay, so it's fine. So essentially what happened at the end there, though, like even though they traded away the lives, the big thing was that two players, you have to remember, started off on that round with SMGs, right?
Mhm.
So if they go down, they go down. Wherever, you're not losing much money beyond armor, if that. So it's not that much of a loss for them to go hunting with that, just because they did maintain the 2 ARs along with an operator at the end of that round, and so mostly doesn't do anything for their economy. They're going to go ahead and make an aggressive push here with Nibbler. He does have the stim pack. It only gets one, though.
Trade out. Trade out, though. And Yakuza's going to grab the second of the round. Bad luck 13 on the HP pool, though, so might run into some trouble. Dallas making it past this little mid checkpoint is a big deal. Irvine have 3, and Dallas don't know how they're split up. 2 on B, 1 on A so far.
Yeah, it's just a lot of default play coming out right now from Dallas here. I don't think they were really expecting as much. I mean, the spike was left at home, and so they were just hoping for picks, and luckily they were able to do that off the back of the Frenzy play. We're seeing a lot more Frenzy coming in also. It's a little bit more in vogue now, but 3-man stack over at Long A, and they don't have to fully commit to this. They still have some time to run off, but now as time dwindles away, I think this is what it's going to be.
Half a minute. The smokes are down. And Dallas are going to look for the execute. Zig's able to find one with the projectile. And the flank from behind. Paint being noisy as he barges his way upstairs. Dallas getting cut down one by one. Platinum grabs one off of the cheeky angle. And Adolfo, the lone member with the spike, give this one up and keep the gun. So the save round here for UT Dallas. 4 down. That's rough.
And this is a complete reversal of fortunes, what we saw last week in their initial meeting. UC Irvine were not able to mount much of anything up against Dallas, but here on the defense on split, Dallas just not having a good go of it right now. We're going to see the double operator coming out. Before, when Looter was using this, he was also slightly glass cannon. He was sitting on light armor. This time around, he's going to have heavy armor to back it up. And so we'll see also how Nibbler plays with this. But we've seen how operators can absolutely dominate on this map just because how the lanes work, right? You're just forced to push through these lanes, and that's right into the crosshairs of operators.
Yakuza firing some shots just in the smoke. So no secret the Dallas are going to be looking for mid one more time. Phoenix flashes, ults, and he's out in the mid, taken down. Of course, that's the ultimate, so no big deal. Nibbler unaware of the crosshair being directly over the opposition, but 3 players in mid for UT Dallas. Go Zig or go home. Tosses out the explosive. Finds the kill. Platinum and Nibbler all pick one up as well as the Sage Wall gets poked on through. 2 players up for UT Dallas.
Yeah, the scariest part about this defense also coming up from UCI, I don't know if it's more worrying for the offense for Dallas, is the simple fact that over the course of these last 5 rounds, with that, over the course of these last 5 rounds, I think Dallas have only picked up 5 frags, averaging 1 elimination per round. I want to double check the scores just to see, but we'll see if Unshaken change anything here.
Oh, Unshaken misplays, but gets away with it. And then Platinum, knowing that UC Irvine kind of has all the players in the world, able to just find the kill after the fact. So, yeah, an uphill battle. Just looks like 1, 2, 8 kills. Yeah, not many.
Okay, so it's averaging more than 1 per round, but that's not a great look, especially if you look at the scoreline across the board for UCI, 7-5-5. I mean, it's been pretty one-sided here. Nibbler might get... Oh, no. Nibbler.
Troublesome. Oh, that's the kill and 1. The collapse black for sure. Bunny is going to erase one of those real quick, but Nibbler finds the third. I'm peeking alone one more time. A site belongs to the Brimstone.
But does he know that the enemy Raze is on site with him? Oh,
No,
I think he does.
No, he has no clue.
Nailed it.
Got caught. Now all of a sudden, the 2-on-3. UT Dallas still not in the driver's seat, but certainly liking this ride a little bit better. Platinum from up high, misses the shot, and Unshaken with 2 in the round, gets it from the left-hand side. Looter's in heaven with an op as well. The flank is strong, the round belongs to Irvine.
Yeah, I love how Ryun pushed that as well. He knew that it was the Cypher there. Cypher throws up the camera, and if he takes even a split second to try and check it, you know, you've got that time to go for that wide swing peek. They're able to pick it up. A little bit scary there, but you know, that nice kind of sneak coming in from the Raze to at least take out that Unshaken was able to make the push onto the A site. But again, it's 6 rounds in a row for UC Irvine. Their economy has largely been untouched. Take a look at them. Half of them sitting at half money, but 2 of them nearly full at 8.5 and 7.5 respectively for Looter and Ryun. Ryun does still need to buy up, but there we go. And they have so much money to work with, and there's only 6 rounds left in this half.
UT Dallas going to be saving here, so an easy round for Irvine, should everything go the way it's supposed to.
Spike.
Saying that out loud this year might be a little... Heaven being assaulted here. Dallas coming in hot. 1 goes down, 2 goes down. The spike carrier was one of them. Players charging upstairs. Looter pockets. And 2 players still standing on the spike team. Stuck in mid. You see Irvine completely surrounding Dallas at this point. Dallas trying to weasel their way out of this lockdown and perhaps find their way onto the A site, but 1 player standing to the sides, able to find the kill. Checks right. Realizes there's the last player inside. All cares in the world. And you see Irvine have to try to lose round number 7. Nice flash. Player's gonna run on downstairs. Fires on the floor. Sure. Just walk away.
This is the weirdest game of tag.
I mean, there's 14 seconds left in the round. Nice try.
Yeah, Phantom Gang, Phantom Gang, Phantom Gang. But we're also seeing why, I think, in this match alone. So many more players are opting for the Phantom.
Yeah.
The distances that you play the Phantom at now are basically just the distances on every map in general, right? The long distances you have here, right, on A main, basically, from the attacker side to defender side is one of the longest sight lines next to Ascent's mid. And in particular, most other sight lines are playing within Phantom's range. And so if you've got the superior rate of fire on the Phantom, you might as well just be taking it because in most situations, it works better for you.
If you're going to go into those long-range situations, an op might just be the best choice. Looter in this back corner with the op could be in a dangerous spot. Knocks down the Omen ultimate, but here comes literally everyone else, the party included. Flash goes down, but not Looter. No, he does. The slide shot looked cute. It was just as effective despite the death after the fact. 4 players on the site, only 2 to defend after Yakuza takes down the Sage player. The drop down to hell won't be good. 3rd of HP for Yakuza, and the teammate follows up from afar. UT Dallas grabbed that one, and they kind of do it well.
They did it well, but the troubling thing about that is, you know, of course I want to commend them for finally getting around on the board here, but how many ultimates did they have to expend for that? They had to use the Showstopper, they had to use the Brimstone ult, they had to use the Omen ultimate, and even then they were trading away. Right now, UC Irvine, they're hitting the shots better. When it comes down to just clean fights, dry fights, it's UC Irvine that's winning them out.
I got to agree there, but looking at what just happened with Dallas, so it's sometimes these can just be confidence contests where, I mean, a lot of ultimates were expended, but Omen ultimate kind of got canceled. They could have done it without the Brimstone ult. That was just their time to like hard execute, and they did. I think if they can get in that same mindset without the ultimates, they can win these rounds. Getting into that mindset, you know, easier said than done though.
And those jiggle peaks by Unshaken was a little dangerous there, but oh, never mind. Nibbler shut him down. I thought this might have been the moment that Dallas could have found an entry onto the A side, but still playing this default for now. And you see Irvine have this defense on lockdown.
Yeah, that was the one angle. I'm in complete agreement about your analysis regarding the Phantom and the angles and the distances that you're playing at. That one angle from entry to screens, that's the one that you don't want to fight. That's the one that there's going to be the op. Tough stuff there. UT Dallas getting active though as they find their way into heaven over at the B site.
This is going to be a little bit difficult here, but there we go. It's the double off defense coming out. Now Looter will finish that off. So another great hold, but now the heavy losses might be taking its toll on UC Irvine's economy. I kind of want to take a look at it right now. They've been able to secure these operators, but losing that one, it does hurt them just a little bit, as two of them are a little bit lower on the money, right? View sitting at 900 credits. We got Nibbler at 2,500. But I think with the money that's still in the bank for Ziggs, Platinum, and Looter, they'll be good for the next 3 rounds.
They could go for the double op here, and they choose not to. They do have money to buy it, and responsibly so. So this is a choice not to double up on the op.
I think it's more of like if they lose the round, right? They'll have more opportunities for the operator. They'll have 2, maybe 3 rounds. Well, I guess 2 rounds of operators left after this. And so holding on to that is fine, because I think Looter himself has been standout on the operator. They don't need the double. Nibbler himself, I think, would do better off right now playing the ARs. Now it's going to be a slow contact play coming out from UT Dallas here, as they do have a 3-stack over by B main. What do they have in terms of utility? They don't have any ultimates to use as well. It's been taking them so long to find any frags, any good ways to get ultimates up.
Looter opens it out. Yakuza though pops the ult, goes where Looter was, and then finds 2 after the fact. Beautiful play there from the Omen. You see Irvine gonna pop one of the ults. Painting with brains. 2 shots there. Able to take down 2 players, and the lone raise versus the world. The attackers take their second round. Spike plant.
Yeah, the big one was Yakuza actually taking advantage of the cyber cage coming out from UC Irvine. He steps into it, and because it no longer slows you or anything, like he's able to just hop on in and then use his short teleport to get it to an angle that UCI weren't ready for. And with that nice flank, he basically won the round for them. I mean, hell, look at him. He's also top frag for the team as well. So Yakuza trying his best to keep UT Dallas in this, but with 2 rounds and a half left, they desperately need to pick up these next 2.
That round not going to be the team leader. Owen player falls down. I was just about to kind of launch into how I really like Owen in the hands of a top frag character, top frag player. Almost more so than some of the other more traditional duelists that we see. More players have gone for the Omen as of late, but you know, he's still not the #1 selection. But what he's able to accomplish with the teleports and obviously the ultimate, really impressive. When you know where the players want to stand on in the map.
Yeah, having the extra smokes as well, the recharging smokes.
Yep.
Sure that you're not able to put down as many, but just having 5, maybe 6 smokes in a round from one player is absolutely insane.
I don't know about undervalued, but not thought about as much. Yakuza from up high and will grab one coming out from the backside. Information known about location, and Yakuza uses it. Luda goes down. Nibbler, though, with the flank, gets two before he's put in the ground. 1v1. Ryun up high to change the numbers. 2 for UC Irvine. And just the Brimstone player in the backside for Dallas.
Yeah, excellent decision there. Bring back, of course, the Rays. She's got the utility to work with, and just also making the numbers advantage work out in your favor. And so I agree. UC Irvine's ultimate usage has been really good. It's been pretty sparse, but when they do need to use it, they've been using it well for the most part. It's at this point now, UT Dallas, what can they do? They've got the Omen ultimate again. Last time they tried to use it, they tried to port to the back of B site. It was instantly cleared, I believe, by Looter, who was playing the operator in that position. So if that's the only thing they can really work with, this is going to be such a difficult round to close out the half. They're not even, wait, it looks like they might be close as well for one more Brimstone ultimate. So that might be what they need to do. Okay. Control one of the ultimate orbs and then try to make an entry off of that.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Mid push here from a couple. 3, actually. Platinum gonna flash, walk on out. An aggressive defensive hold here from the Phoenix player, but I guess play the character you pick, right? Paranoia comes out, and it's good for 1, and it's good for 2. Go Zig. Able to answer it. And actually, let me check myself there. The Paranoia went out, and it was Irvine that was able to find the flank onto what players thought was going to be safe. So a nice reaction there from the Rays player on Irvine's side. 2 players are both in mid here. One last character. And down she goes. 10 in the pocket after 12. We'll switch here to pistols, and we'll switch the sides up as well.
That leaves you basically no breathing room whatsoever if you're UT Dallas here. Their defense have to be absolutely spectacular. If they lose one round and end up in the hole in terms of economy, that could just basically mean, of course, them losing the entire thing. This is just a best of 1, and this is a complete reversal of what happened last time these two faced off. Now, as we do swap sides, let's take a look at what the buys are looking like. So we got some light armor buys, but it looks like UCI are going to be favoring more economy here. We have 1 frenzy, some light armor, and so the rest of the money going to go straight into utility. Let's see exactly how they want to play this. It's going to be default for now. They've got 2 over at long A, 2 at B, and actually 2 controlling mid right now. As this default play, I don't know if they're going to find anything off of it. I want to see them kind of shift things up and maybe go a little bit fast and heavy onto one site.
Bunny here from Male, not going to find much, but a slow walk over to B. UC Irvine going to look to abandon that mid push, which has dragged players over from both sites. And they're going to be able to slowly walk on here. Here's a specific lineup for the slow orb that tosses it all the way onto the other side of the site. And the commit. Trouble with the tripwire. Unshaken from up high grabs 1. Adolfo down low grabs the other. And what looked like a great execute for UC Irvine has kind of been cut short.
Remove.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
So one of the difficult things with that lineup that we saw, or one of the downsides of it to be more straightforward. Ooh, what? Ryun? Okay. He's got 25 seconds.
Yeah. He also has multiple opponents here. 2 from the same spot, which could be real powerful. Ryun knows he has to push. Gets the shot, but the teammate answers. So the reason Ryun knew they had to push there was no option.
Yeah, not much saving there at that point. But yeah, the issue with that lineup, right? Throwing that slow orb all the way from spawn is the fact that that means your Sage isn't here to cover this cross. A lot of the times we see the execute onto this site, they're just going to go ahead and wall off this angle so that if they do get slowed down by anything, that they're not going to be taking heavy fire, right? That they only really have to worry about any shots coming in from heaven. But if you hug the wall closely, heaven shouldn't be able to see you. It's going to be a fast execute coming out from UCI, as they are just going to be able to make it onto the A site for free. They're not planning quite yet. They're going to go push and get more ready, clear out their angles here on the post plants. Surprising to see that the rotates haven't completely come out yet, but they do have 4 members here. Bunny finding the first kill.
I like this play from Yakuza. The wall kind of messed him up, but Sage falls down. Haha, grabs one. Second side, beautiful snap. And the Molotov will delay the defuse, but just for a moment. UT Dallas grabbing number 4. And perhaps more importantly, both rounds this side of the half.
You're only losing 1 in that. And so I believe the Sage was also just using a ghost. So didn't heavily invest into this round. We'll see if an operator comes out from her for Bunny. Not quite enough money. Okay, it's just going to go glass cannon with that. Well, with the light armor buy. And so Bunny will be using the operator here, and looks like with that mid control, she might need a little bit more backup. And so I kind of want to see like maybe the Rays playing there. There we go. The Rays will be playing with her.
Yep.
So now, how do UCI deal with this?
Right now, it looks like they're kind of content to continue playing the game that they've been playing. Leave the spike at home and just kind of fight it on out. They figure they have enough rounds that they can just sort of, you know, brute force this one. And they might not be wrong here, but the wind definitely behind UT Dallas. Bunny. You know, I looked at, I was like, that's not an op.
Yeah, it was just a great double peek coming out from them. The timing on that was coordinated really well now. UC Irvine, though, we're currently seeing them basically having to contend with the iron wall defense of Split here. So he's got hurt.
Oh, yeah. A lot of noise in the rope room, but Spike's over at A. And no one's the wiser.
It's 40 seconds, and they rotated 4 people over here.
Ryun holding the long angle. Has to watch out for the left side. 2 players upstairs. And the screens enemy has walked away. Spike looking to be planted on the backside. Paint and Zig were able to trade out. So 4 players left for UT Dallas. UC Irvine 3 left to retake the site, make it 1. Painted unshaken, and then Yakuza one more time. 14 rounds in, and UT Dallas grabbed their 5th on number 15.
And Dallas are kind of showing what's, I think, trending more and more in terms of defensive play here in Valorant, that a lot of teams are getting more comfortable with the retake instead of just trying to trade away and making sure that you're hard holding in like a close angle and then retreating, right? It's more about having the numbers and coming in once you're comfortable with a full 5, full 4 or something for the retake instead. And they did an expert job of doing it. Though here we can note like a marked difference between UC Irvine and Dallas in terms of their offense. Irvine are much more successful of getting these plants at the very least. And those plants are important. That's a lot of extra money, additional money coming in to continue to further these opportunities to try and get a round win.
Oh, wow. Look at this. The entirety of UC Irvine coming up A site. Heaven is smoked. Screens is smoked. And the spike going to be planted on the backside of the site. 5 on 5 as everybody looks for the retake here. 3 players going to approach from downstairs, 2 players upstairs. Yakuza looking to take care of the right side. Nobody's going to be there. Left side, though, Raze has made herself known. Paranoia comes out. The slow orb's going to protect the big push. And up high, Bunny's going to wait for it. On scope, doesn't matter. Finds the kill through the wall. And Adolfo turns it into a 2-kill round so far. The defuse, can they get it? It's been down for so long, the defense was strong. And the attackers get the kills. 11-5.
And this is what I was talking about just beforehand. UC Irvine have looked much more solid in their offense. Sure, this is the first round that they've won that half, but every single round, they've been able to execute onto a site and get the plant, which is a completely different story from what Dallas were able to do on their offense. And so already having the power for the take and now being able to back that up, especially off an eco round and actually winning the round off of just excellent stalling tactics, right? The slow orbs coming out at the right time to cut off CT spawn, along with the spam from the Raze utility. They won that off the back of abilities, off the back of just properly playing this and actually having a plan once they get onto a site or even getting onto a site itself.
This time around,
Annihilated.
looks like they might have a similar thought process. 5 players already coordinated around the A-side site. 1 down on either team. Scratch that. UC Irvine, full force, thanks to the Sage ultimate. Spike planted in the same spot it's been planted every single time. And that's to protect it from specifically the heaven angle.
You will not kill my
And there's the other Sage res. We have a 5-on-5 here. All of a sudden, back to a 4-on-4. Unshaken turns it again with a beautiful explosive. 2 alive for UC Irvine.
They got the showstopper though. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
So one, I think, big mistake coming out from UC Irvine there was that they didn't camp the body. They gave up too much ground over at A ramp, and allowing them to get that free res. A res like that, especially when it's not in a particularly safe angle, that should have just been a dieback for the person coming in. And so UC Irvine kind of gave up that round for free, and now they're back in the hole because, well, their lost round bonus has been reset here, and so now they're down to 2K, 3K money across the board. They'll have some light armors and additional pistol buys as we have a Sheriff in Nibbler's hands along with that Frenzy for Ziggs. But it looks like, you know, UC Irvine, they've been able to make these A pushes work in the last 3 rounds. They're going to go ahead and do it again.
One more time. Yakuza from the backside. Yeesh, didn't have a gun out. Catch us some info, though. Everybody jumping up towards mid. And a couple of shots are actually landed by the Omen player. 2 players rush on site. Don't forget, Yakuza's back there in screens, so it's going to cause a problem. Everybody else coming from the other angles. Platinum flashes, comes upstairs, misses all of the shots. 2 players gonna push him here. Excellent decision by UT Dallas, especially after hearing the weaponry he was equipped with. 2 players in the corners, good shot. 1, reload, it doesn't matter. Bunny with the quick reaction. Nice play, baby. And that's lucky number 7, UT Dallas. It was 10-2 at the half, Jamerson.
10-2 at the half. UC Irvine, at the very least, you know, got an earlier round on the board in the half. Then it took Dallas. It took Dallas, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 rounds before they were able to answer to theirs. The difficulty now for UC Irvine is that they're not doing as much early economic damage as Dallas were, right? Dallas were able to at least grind away, get a few kills, but now UC Irvine, they've been slowing down. Even though they've been able to get these plants, it's about trading away these kills, and particularly what happened in that last frag in that last round, it's a little bit worrying there. Is at least one player should have gone down, or an additional player should have gone down on the side of UT Dallas.
Yeah, I agree. It was, you know, you got to get some of those shots, but by the way, a new round. Looking at number 19 here.
Yeah, change up from UC Irvine. They went 4 or 5 rounds in a row straight over to A site. It was working out for them. They were getting the plants, but again, not getting the traded kills here. This time around, they're going to go ahead and play this default, as now they're going to commit that Brimstone ultimate in.
Satchel out.
But they really don't get much else for it. Molly off, and it looks like it's just going to be a quick execute onto the side. They don't check Hell, and Pain picks up too.
Just like that, good positioning. Brimstone's going to show up. And Nimbler gets the upper hand.
Yeah, Pain caught checking Discord there. So what can you do?
Yep. Defenders grab it again. 11-8. UT Dallas are turning this into a match.
Yeah, 3 rounds now. They pull it within, and Irvine, even though they've looked a bit more solid in terms of their executions, being able to get on site and looking, I would say, a bit more coordinated in terms of their executes, they haven't really been able to do much else. I think their post-plant positions on A have been a little bit awkward. They give up way too much ground. And now we haven't really seen as much from B, and so this is going to be a little bit awkward for them as they push up through. Oh, B main.
You say awkward. Things look pretty good to me. You see Irvine, not a scratch. And the spike already down. Yakuza gets involved, and 2 people are gonna eat it, but just 2 people on Dallas's team in general. Make that 1. Yakuza can't make it happen, and Platinum peaks a second time, finds it thrifty. Match point.
Dallas's economy will keep them in this for now, though. We've seen on the rifle rounds, it hasn't particularly gone in UCI's favor. That was the first one they won in this half. So UT Dallas still stand a chance here. It's now 4 rounds in favor of UCI, but where do they go from here? It looks like they're gonna play a little bit default 2 over at A3, hovering over mid B main. Let's see. This operator shot. Oh, Platinum.
Good start. Now gonna charge upstairs. Flash. Won't find a target. Flash. Won't find a target. Frenzy out. Storming. Runs out of time. 5-on-4 here for UC Irvine. Spike walking its way up mid. Trying to get a bead on where everyone kind of is. And Adolfo's able to grab 1, but that's about it. Trade out strong, and UC Irvine, A is going to be the call. Good damage from the corner and Unshaken. Looks good for the moment. Just the moment. Number 13 for UC Irvine. And they're going to go on to our second round here, Jamerson. Took them a while to close it, but they did.
And that's kind of just what happens when you start off on the defense and you get such a commanding lead at the half. 10-2 left them with so much leeway. It took them a while. It took them 3 rounds before they got their first round in the half, and then another 3 before they were able to answer back once again. So UT Dallas did make it a little bit scary for them, but again, UC Irvine with such a strong defense gave them so much breathing room to work with.
That's really what you want to look for here is kind of how much space you can occupy. 10-2, that's insane at the half. A lot of times you're happy. I mean, 6-6 if you're on attacker, I guess you're fine with the split. But here, 10-2, that's how do you even come back from that? Dallas really tried to bring their all, but wound up a little bit short here. Strong stuff on the defensive side for sure. Anything else stick out to you across the way?
Again, I think how UC Irvine were playing here on split up basically on the offense. It still looked good for the simple fact that they were able to continuously get onto a site, their execution onto a site and commitment into the play bodes well in their favor. At least, they have more for their offense than I can say for a lot of other teams that I normally see here on split. So I think that was a good look looking going forward. I think if you're going into the grand finals up against UC Irvine, that split maybe not one of your map choices.
Well, that's going to do it for us there in game number 1. We have one more best of 1, and then after that, we'll see UC Irvine take on whoever wins this next one. We'll be right back on Fight Night. Now, Omen has found the flank here with that ultimate. Oh, an errant shot. He does get the kill and one.
I just have faith in their pistols.
That's me. It doesn't always work. Long's going to be the fight. Cool ABC grabs one and the double. Yeah.
But that's where like the counter mind games play come in. Now, of course, Cool ABC starts it off, takes out Elite Infinity. That's a huge start for the defense.
I like that play here coming out from Cool ABC. I think if you're going to play the Jet, that's one way to do it. Play it aggressively and say no way. 3 for Jet already. And Illinois trying to get in their way and doing a damn good job of it. 4 players standing. In the noisy Jersey. No, they lined up. And No Dick has 1 shot and 2 kills. Nice job, gets it after the fact. Poopy head up in heaven. Finds the headshot. Beautiful accuracy again. He does it with a disgusting crosshair.
Here we go, going in. Ooh,
Oh.
ABC playing with his food right now.
And getting eaten himself.
1v1 though, 6 HP on Fly Cow Moose. What?
So Fly Cow Moose, maybe we can just dice it.
We watched them, I think, on the mini map. And so at this point now, oh, he just busted through.
How did
Fly
that
Cow
go
Moose.
down? How did that happen?
Toronto started it all off. That operator paying off. No Dick was able to find one.
Oh, one tap from Ancion, waiting for the other 2. There's the secondary and the third. Incredible stuff coming out from the Jet player. Jets tonight. There's the 4th. You see that often at higher levels. And so players have to be a little bit more aware of the flank potential. And yeah, that player's really killing it now.
Oh. Cool ABC getting caught out there. Colbart. See, you got me doing it now. I'd actually get the ace here.
Koblar with Quattro. Trying to find number 5. 2 players here, along for the ride, guarding the spike. No reason to move. There it is! Ace of Koblar. Coin will be walking up mid. Crit gets the last hit on Fly Cow Moose. And Ancium again find themselves at the helm, pushing forward. The mobility of Jet comes in handy when looking for the entry frag kills. Leah takes out 1, Leah takes out 2, and the third. 4 and 5. Count the ace. All for the Sova player.
One of it is, of course, on the offense. Ooh, shakes. Don't even have time to talk about it there as he picks up 3.
2 scattered across the map, and Shanks is actually going to pick up Infred, who's making the rotation from B. Melio Mariah.
Sight. Here's the first spray. Shanks with another one, but it's J-Mo hold it down.
Ton of players here. Wow. Everyone's from spot up, making the rotation now. 2 are going to be on the other side. 1 goes down. Good shots from Shanks. Now on the site is underrated. Looking for the plant. While Spot Up has 1 left in the smoke. Down they go.
Retro trying to go for the peak. They were going for the timing. That was it. Nice jump down, but what a flick! The turnaround.
Still plenty of players trying to push through this smoke, and they will do that. 1 for the money and the third. Don't even need the show. And, you know, it seems to come down. There's only 5 players on your Valorant squad, right? And all gun skill consumed equally.
Reason 8-10 now is the scoreline. Way too French really fought back for this one, and there we go. Default's actually paying off for them. He even holds for the third.
These more these slower, more cautious, more trepidatious pushes don't really line underrated up for success. see this. Shanks flashes, walks in, double kill. Second flash, triple kill. Just like that. Picks one up as well, so it's 2 so far. Melio falls down. Ainge, beautiful shots out of showers. 3 players up from underrated to defend against way too French's 3-man retake.
They are going to be approaching from the same angle, though. This is going to be a difficult one now. Nano with a huge paint shells there. Incredible even going to go ahead and molly off that angle as he goes for the peak. Taking out one.
Strong molly, but the unnecessary peak for sure. The ace from Ainge, but he falls to the flames. Yeah, the op's gonna chew you, whether or not you got the armor. Op's gonna miss though, and so it's a 1 for 2. Whoa, Jamo! 4, just like that. The 5th lurking in window, walking on through the smoke. Sees him, gets him, and that's number 5. Now, Omen has found the flank here with that ultimate. Oh, an errant shot. He does get the kill and one.
I just have faith in their pistols.
That's me. It doesn't always work. Long's going to be the fight. Cool ABC grabs one and the double. Yeah.
But that's where like the counter mind games play come in. Now, of course, Cool ABC starts it off, takes out Elite Infinity. That's a huge start for the defense.
I like that play here coming out from Cool ABC. I think if you're going to play the Jet, that's one way to do it. Play it aggressively and say no way. 3 for Jet already. And Illinois trying to get in their way and doing a damn good job of it. 4 players standing in the noisy jersey. No, they lined up, and No Dick has 1 shot and 2 kills. Nice job, gets it after the fact. We head up in heaven, finds the headshot. Beautiful accuracy again. He does it with a disgusting crosshair.
Here we go, going in. Ooh,
Oh.
ABC playing with his food right now.
And getting eaten himself.
1v1 though, 6 HP on Fly Cow Moose. What?
So Fly Cow Moose, maybe we can just dice it.
We watched them, I think, on the mini map. And so at this point now, oh, he just busted through.
How did
Fly
that
Cow
happen? How did that happen? Hello, welcome back to Fight Night College Style. We're here, Giant Slayer, and it's me, and it's Jamerson, and we've got Utah versus Ryerson right in front of us.
Yeah, and so again, these are 2 schools that have had a lot of presence in esports collegiately, and we got to see a lot of character, I would say, more than anything out of the last matchup we saw in Utah. It was actually one of the most fun casts. I think the most interactive we've ever actually been with chat. So that was a fun time. But again, looking at some of the names, these are names that I am familiar with. They do come from the collegiate Overwatch scene as well. So these players, no strangers to high level in terms of collegiate esports, coming from Overwatch. So Flame Turtle, Cool ABC, Cold-Blooded as well, I imagine, if I remember correctly. And so, again, University of Utah have been really staking a claim for themselves in the collegiate esports scene as well as Ryerson.
Yeah, this has been kind of interesting watching these teams really come out here, both forge a name for themselves, like you said, the larger esports scene, and even here in our little corner of the universe. Giant Slayer, of course, working out with Sizzle.gg, some cool highlights coming out of there. And we've seen some cool highlights come out of here before, so I'm eager to kind of see this matchup for sure. Ryerson got map picked this time around, so that means we're going to bind. Utah has elected to play defense, which is pretty standard run-of-the-mill kind of thing here. Bind, one of the more varied maps, let's say, as far as approaches are concerned. You can play this map a number of different ways, as opposed to what we just saw on Split, which is generally mid or go home.
Yeah, we saw a very defensive-sided Split, which is generally, I think, what we're used to. Here on Bind, it can honestly, I feel like, go either way. With the teleportation mechanic that you have on this map, it offers you a lot more rotation patterns. While it is telegraphed when you do use them, it offers you that kind of, loop-de-loop play style that you can go for. If you can bait out enough rotations, you go ahead to swap to the other site if you want to. And so I like this map in particular just because of how dynamic the offense can be.
Yeah, there's so many different options here when you're trying to go either, long range rifles or you want to play close quarters combat. You can totally do that. We usually see a number of character selections to really reflect that. And I want to point out for Utah, no Raze or Phoenix. Usually those are the characters that take really good advantage of specifically that hookah area. Instead, we see, I guess, the Sova in that position, who shock darts come in clutch, but definitely not really as effective as some of the other choices, I suppose.
We've also got the Omen and Jet, and we're seeing a lot more Jet play now as well. I think just her dynamic play style as a duelist, her ability, especially if you play an offensive operator. It can be very useful using that tailwind and the updraft for that extra mobility here. But the pistol round going to start off a little bit slow as we do have a default play coming up from Ryerson here. They gained that ultimate orb control, which is going to be very crucial here for that Raze player.
Cool ABC. Just my personal input here. Strong Jet player. We have a couple of replays actually on our break screen of this guy really going off, so we've seen it. Location revealed here for cookie time, and he's gonna answer in kind. Shock dart into the wild blue yonder. No kills just yet, but Omen's hurt. Utah trying to play defense, getting chased out of U-Haul. Jay slowly pushing up. Default plant. 5 players here, 4 as the flank is caught out. Kylis, the first one to grab a kill. Headshot, if I may add. Trouble here as Jay trying to deal with 2 players, but Rofaso able to find the right-hand side, take down 2. Flame Turtle, literally a hair of HP goes down, and Utah has 1 player left. I think that's going to be that. Attackers take the first round.
Yeah, just fundamental bind play, I would say, coming out for them here as Ryerson went for the default plant, right? Just on the other side of the UPC, or APC, excuse me. I got a little bit of retail on my mind there. It never escapes you, it's Q codes, everything like that. You're never going to get away from it. You're always going to remember. But here, this is where Ryerson do have to be a little bit more careful in their approach. I think this is one of those rounds where you do kind of avoid, I would say, trying to play for B, but for all indications right now, they are going to go for it, but they are taking the longer way around instead of playing for hookah, where it can be a bit more difficult. You can run into, of course, the shorties there over by hookah, and so instead, they're playing more towards their sight lines, especially with the guns that they have right now. They've got the Stingers, they've got the Spectres, and so now they're going to clear out their angles. And so an excellent approach coming up from Ryerson here, but we do have a 3-stack currently coming up from Utah as Alden finds the first one with the Bulldog.
Oh, Zyla is going to grab a second one. And Ryerson onto the site easily. Cool ABC puts one together with the shorty. Falls down after the fact, and that's going to be an easy round there for Ryerson. Yeah. The anti-eco relatively successful. Get the plant and only lose 1. And apparently it's cookie time. Third round here.
Yeah, this is the third round, right? This is where a lot of teams end up getting into trouble, as we see they're still on 4 SMGs along with that Bulldog. So exactly where they want to try and play this. This is now one of those rounds where you do want to go for possibly an aggressive push over to hookah and try to gain control over at B now, as you have a different split coming up from Utah, 3 on A site, 2 on B site. And so they are making that play, playing more within their range, again, with the weaponry that they currently have.
Spike all alone here, pushing up through hookah. Wow. And Cool ABC with the quiet boy flank. It's actually going to be 2 players, not by themselves. Spike goes down and 1. Cool ABC got to shout out the crosshair placement for that secondary kill. And now Spike's going to be down, and that'll be a problem. Utah with the advantage the first time all game.
Yeah, playing that default there was a little bit awkward for them, especially when they were trying to push hookah with the spike like that. I don't know exactly what the idea was for Ryerson. I think it might have been to try and play for a fake over at the A side. If they can get the entry frags, then they could just go ahead and rotate through. But now, with an excellent flank coming up from Utah there, they're really able to take advantage of that. They do lose 2 in this exchange, but oh man, Alden has an opportunity here.
Oh,
What?
4! That snap shot puts it down. Insanity for the 3rd round.
Wow, that is giving up a round.
Yeah.
Utah should have won that, and with the position of the spike, there was no reason for them to really overextend the way they did, even if it was a huge numbers advantage. Alden clutching out that round for his squad now. Ryerson completely breaking the back of Utah here. They're going to be on an eco round once again, as it looks like it's going to be an execute, a quick one onto the A site.
Sova's going to grab some information with a lineup there on the right side.
Wrong buddy out.
A slow commit here onto A, if that's actually where Ryerson chooses to commit at all. I mean, they've tossed a little bit of utility here, but haven't really signed their name, so to speak. But you can see the grouping of everybody here on main, and I think this is going to indicate the all-in push. They get info on a player in U-Haul. That's going to be enough to get the call to rotate.
Yeah, there's a 4-man stack by Utah on the A side right now. As Xylus, he's going to be able to keep them committed here as well. And so this is so important for them right now. And that's why I love teams adjusting to how they play the Cypher on the offense, right? A lot of times it just feels like, what does a Cypher offer on the offense? Well, not much. And so you can have him in these roles where he's just selling the fake.
Full rotate here from Ryerson, and Utah none the wiser. Maybe catching on a little bit as we see Cool ABC making the rotation all on the backside. One player here, and he's defending with a shotgun up in hookah. Desperately needs help from the teammates. Pop, pop. Flame Turtle able to make it work. The shots from a distance not going to be so successful.
Yeah, it doesn't quite pen there with the shotgun.
Oh.
Alden will clean that up. Ryerson now here. 4 rounds on the offense.
Alden, 8-0 and 2. We'll count the assists. Smooth plays here from the top frag on Ryerson. 4 in the pocket, and a lot of them, at least one, completely due to the Silva player on top.
And most importantly, it was that crucial 3rd round, right? Where
They have nowhere to hide.
things were just so bad for them. They were already at a gun disadvantage. He was down into a 1v4. And he clutched that all up, and he broke the economy of Utah here, allowing them to pick up this extra 4th round. Ryerson playing this very well in that last anti-eco round. You know, they were a bit afraid of the eco cheese, and so they played it a little bit slow. And Alden, oh boy.
Cookie tries to get one through the wall. Playing that Silva well. Everybody knows where they're at, though. Ryerson push it on through. Jay pops up, shoots back, and a nice 180. That was just pretty to look at, Jay. 3 in the pocket so far for the Rays player here. Spike already down. Cool ABC. Rifle. You're probably saved here, but won't be given the opportunity. Brofaso. The last kill there. Flawless for Ryerson. 5-0 after as many.
Yeah, so after this eco round for Utah, I kind of want to see a commitment onto an operator and really hopefully put that into the hands of Cool ABC. Needs to get something done with this jet. It's been struggling quite a bit so far. Even though he's top frag, the entire squad has been having difficulty up against Ryerson. I think if they can kind of slow them down, put the threat of an operator, especially here on Bind, how dynamic the operator can play, could be what Utah need to get back into this half.
take flight.
Well, Utah's playing really aggressive. Shotgun right here. Shorty comes up short. 3 players left standing for Utah. One's right here in the corner. And the shock dart gonna chase the player into the port. And Ryerson, 5 alive, gonna juice this side up. Everybody safe and sound. That's a cute little play there. But the spike should go down, and it's up to Utah to decide and even look for it.
Yeah, if Ryerson just survived with all 5, this is such an important round for them. Again, it's about getting to the second half of this half with a very strong economy, and they are there. 5 alive, they're able to save everything. And man, the way that they're playing around Utah's money is, I think, one of the most commendable things. It's just fundamental understanding of the game and how the economy works and how to play around that. So we are going to see the operator in play, but it's going to be in the hands of Cobbler. So we'll see how they back him up for this play, or if he just plays it passively. And currently it is indicating that he's going to be playing that super passively, playing that over at Heaven on the A site.
Talk to me a little bit more about what you were talking, what you just said there about playing the economy. You know, Ryerson haven't just been slamming, B42, right? They're not just picking up the guns that you got to get every round. What are they doing more on the technical side to really be so dominant?
It's about understanding when to play default up against certain things, right? If you see that you're on that anti-eco round and you're a little bit worried about the cheese, you play a little bit more passively, just in case you're watching out for your flanks, and so you don't get caught off guard. It's about not giving up anything to the cheese, right? And so that's what they haven't been able to do, but also how they approach and execute onto sites when they're on that anti-eco round. And we were talking about the 2 shorties being in play. What did they do? Completely avoided hookah, and so they didn't have to worry about that angle. Played the sight lines, played the distances that their guns afforded them up against the eco round.
A little bit more than just simple arithmetic. Love to see that thought process, and love to see the game kind of mature. That sort of conversation is definitely chapter 2 as players start to understand a little bit more of how things are supposed to work out here. Profaso easily walks past the sniper coming out from the top side. The bullet's finding the player defending. Spike's been down for a little while, and Utah have to find a way into this. Is it cookie time? Certainly trying.
This is the other thing that we were talking about. The other side of the coin when we were talking about playing around the economy here is Ryerson are doing such an excellent job. When it comes down to these rifle rounds, they're I think basically 3 for 3 on making this exact execute. It's a default execute, once again, default play onto a site, and they've been able to win it around. Now, a lot of teams have struggled. I don't think there's quite an answer for this other than playing aggressively over at short A, which Utah haven't really been able to do. They tried in the round beforehand during their eco round, but this was kind of one of those rounds where they didn't need to challenge for that. When it comes down to the next round, we do have a force up though, this time around coming up from Utah. And so this might be the cheese that Ryerson have to watch out for. And it looks like they are, again, playing around those distances.
Oh no, call with the hand in the pocket. Kylis allowed to make the mistake.
Kill my allies.
Rez is the homie.
I am the hunter.
Sova's the hunter. Identifies one, puts it down.
Oh,
it's cookie time. 3 for the Sova. Koblart playing up front. Takes care of the boom bot. 10 HP though. That's rough.
So this round, this time, the shoe's on the other foot. Utah understanding exactly how Ryerson were going to play that. You know, they're expecting, of course, that it's the anti-eco round for Ryerson. What did they do on the last anti-eco round? Well, they pushed here over at Long B, and so they had the answer for it with that Sova ultimate. And so really being able to shut that down, and even though they had to force up into this, at least now, you know, it's a much more even trade, 2 for 2. Ryerson rotating this on over to the ace site.
Alden, top frag extraordinaire. It's round 8, and he's not slowing down anytime soon. Wins the fight versus Andy. And cookie time 4 to 5 belong to him. Fake defuse, nothing fake about that one. Number 5 there for Cookie. An ace. Shot to the Radianite. Won't matter, but Alden gets the kill anyway. Post defuse. So the round goes to Utah. They're finally on the board here, Jamerson. The question I always ask, too little, too late?
If they can get the 5, right? If they can get the 5, but the difficult thing is it might be. Look at the economy. After buying back, right? They had to buy on 4 characters. They were all sitting on max money. As you can see right now, 4.9, 4.6 was the lowest money on Ryerson's side here. So here in the rifle round, again, we know that in the past that it's been a basically default A play. This time around, Ryerson's going to change it up and play a little bit more default here instead. But I wouldn't be surprised if they rotate this back around over to the A site now as they're running into some resistance over there by Hookah.
Interesting push up there.
Overall, though, Utah now having a little bit of a better read, I would say, overall. But
I mean,
that happens.
Caster's curse?
Yeah. I still commend Utah right now for changing up how they're playing their defense because they were playing this a little bit too statically. It was too predictable, which is why Ryerson were able to, of course, get that 7 in a row right now. And it finally looks like Utah's coming online.
45 seconds left to go in the round. That's a gunfight. Andy takes care of business. 3 players alive for Utah. And Ryerson just 2. Spike down mid. Slowly. Ryerson's going to look for the recovery. Where do they go? 1 player on each site.
I think this is just a safe. When you have 3 rounds left in the half after this, in your economy, it's good enough to have 3 buys, 3 full buys afterwards without an operator. And so at this point, you're just trying to hold on to these guns. You've got heavy armor still on Xylus as well. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. 1K in the armor alone, and then holding on to your AR. So this is really important here for their overall strength in terms of economy for the rest of this half. As you can see now, we've got 3 rounds left in the half, and they should be able to full buy every single round. So I think that's the most important part here. Ryerson already had a strong start, want to finish off strong as well. On the side of Utah, though, even though they were able to take that round win, take a look, Cobbler had to go for the Bulldog himself. And so, you know, not the strongest in terms of weaponry, but we're seeing the effects of economy in this game right now. As Ryerson, they've got 4 stacked at A short, and so let's see if they go for that default play. Like I said, Utah need to play this a little bit more differently. They need a stronger defense coming out from their short A side, which is what they're doing.
Quickly jumping onto the site, Alden still doing it to him. Xylas playing it careful. 1 and 2. Beautiful lineup. Waited for the moment. Patience paid off. Xylas grabs the 3rd. Cookie time does find one before going down. 8-2 after 10.
And the economy is absolutely broken here, as we do have a force up. Never mind, they were actually able to afford 3 hours and heavy armors, but yeah, it's Cobbler who's struggling in terms of money, and so it's a complete force up coming out from them here. As yeah, they desperately, Utah, need to pick up the additional 2 rounds here at the end of the half. I don't know if it's going to happen. Ryerson have just such an excellent read here on the offense, and they've been playing so well in this half.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Utah, kind of like you said, waking up, though. I think that's the biggest tell for me is how they've been able to kind of make the adjustments. Long range.
Gotcha.
Sova spamming down mid. And Utah. So it's funny because you were just praising them, and I was doing the same. Them being Utah. For playing more, you know, tactically, just coming at it a different way. But this round has been pure brawn. Utah's just clicking heads, finding the shots, finding the kills, and they aren't even on the good side of things. Wonderful
They picked
play.
that up in a really good way. Cobbler was the only one that was, of course, struggling on the money, so they'll be able to buy for him. And so they will be able to have a full buy coming into this one. But like I said, Ryerson, with that save from, 2 rounds ago?
Yep.
Or 3 rounds ago, they'll have full buys every single round to finish this off. Now, we'll see if they can really, get that nail ready in the coffin here, as right now, if they can get this 9th round, Utah are going to have such a struggling offensive side. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oops.
Ryerson holding all the way back.
This was the one particular adjustment I wanted to see coming up from Andy, or at least from Utah when they were playing this defense here for this default play. But Xylus, the nice push-up, is able to get up 1. Cookie Time answers right back.
This is big, though. No, never mind. Raze catches him out, runs all the way inside. Cookie Time falls back and gets taken down by Alden. Satchel will clear the corner, and Cool ABC coming in from the front door. 3-on-3. Jay looking to cut it down. Player out of there. Keep in mind, the spike's been down this entire time. Xylas picks up the 2-pointer. And now trying to finish off with the 3rd. Alden from the right side. Ryerson would be smart to double peek here. Koblard has to deal from both sides. Players can make use of that. Instead, Koblard takes down Alden by themselves. Rez is a teammate. But it takes too long to defuse. It took too long. They didn't commit. Oh, no. You hate to see it.
Oh.
Ryerson played that incorrectly. I can confidently say that. They didn't take advantage of the pincer maneuver, and they just kind of peeked one-on-one. They allowed Ryerson to get the res, but, I mean, oh well. Or they allowed Utah to get the res, but oh well. The round is over. 9-3 at the half there, Jamerson.
Yeah, Utah just having such a difficult time there on the defense. I honestly think Ryerson did a really great job on their offense in particular, knowing when to make what plays. Their set play, of course, on A, really, really working out for them. That secured 3 rounds for them, basically a 4th as well. There at the end. And that's still a play. That's just a set play that teams execute or struggle with on, in the tier 1 side, right? In professional play as well. So you can't really fault Utah. End of the day, though, I think there are still some struggling things right now for Utah, just not able to land their shots when they need to. Ryerson, though, going to go ahead and rotate this on over.
The full rotate. And the noisy one, too. What does she say? Oh, the old loop-de-loop. You love to see it. This is one of my favorite plays to make. I'm silver. They're going to go from one port to the other and then right on back and look for the plant here. Everyone on the counter rotation is going to be coming out from backside labs. 2 pistol shots, make it 3 for Ryerson. And Jay with the 4th. The Jet player, the only one in red to find a kill. And that's going to be that. The defuse is strong. So a nice little attempt there. But Ryerson successfully shuts it down and reads it out.
And that's why it's so important on this map when you're playing on the defense that you don't heavy rotate off the thing, right? Even though they left 1 player on the B site, rotating 3 players back towards CT spawn basically meant that once they went for the second rotate, once they went for the second teleport, that 3 of them, 4 of them are all going to be rotating from the exact same angle. So chances are someone's going to die. On that retake. So great decision by Ryerson there. And I like how quick they were with it too. We saw this even in our fight nights, right? Teams being very, very quick on their movement.
That's what separates Valorant from the other games, I think, in the genre, is how quickly you've got to be able to find your rotations. Jay sitting here, lines it on up. An easy kill for the Rays main. Ryerson 3 away from moving on and facing UC Irvine. Zyla's going to look to plant in the smoke. And Jay hasn't moved from this corner over in U-Haul and hasn't had to. 2 players belong to Jay. And Zylas gets involved as well. Three. And that be that. Defenders tie it up. This one goes to 11. And a nice play there. Lots of money for the blue team. Red team barely alive, so. All right. You know what time it is, Jamerson? Broden time.
This. All right. I mean, yeah, you're 8 rounds down. I mean, what more can you say, honestly?
No, I'm here for
You got to go for the cheese. You got to go for the cheese at some point.
Well, here it is. Cool ABC leading the charge. Utah says. Please. Oh, will they get the kill? I'm rooting for them at this point. Jay from the backside picks up 2. And then falls on down. Cookie, left side, right side, grabs 1. And here's Cold-Blood. Man. I liked it. I liked it. You know, I just want to say, I randomly, what time was this? I think it was real late at night last week. I got a message from Cold-Blood on Discord. He sent me a Discord DM. 2 lines of text. The first line of text says, "I hear you are casting again. Don't listen to Sarah Whitebread. I got her sushi. She's lying if she says otherwise." The next line of text says, "He didn't bring me any sushi."
Blocking sight.
So all I know is there's some internal discord on the team.
All right. Cookie time starts it off, and then he goes down.
Aldens has been really impressive here. And, you know, as we kind of wrap this one up, I'm excited to watch the matchup. Again, the way we work here on our collegiate fight night. 2 best of 1s and then a best of 3. Utah's last stand here from the Cypher player, but that be that. 16 and 13 of them are Ryerson's. They'll face California in our best of 3.
Now, UCI versus Ryerson here. Again, Ryerson there on their offense looks so good. They just played very strong fundamental, I would say. And I don't know how much of it was aim duels or how much of it was just proper understanding, of course, like I said, the fundamentals of playing Valorant and this kind of shooter. But they did an excellent job. There's very little I could honestly critique for their play. And so if I'm Irvine, I'm going to be a little bit worried here. Bind is going to be a scary prospect if I'm going to try and take them up on it, especially because we have to remember that Ryerson started off on the offense.
Yeah, exactly. This was a dominant performance from Ryerson, and you know, Utah's a squad that we got a chance to interview them, which means they took something home. They won, right? And they said, you know, they're a newer team. They're definitely kind of working some kinks out, but they're able to play strong Valorant, you know? And so being able to see Ryerson could bring out that level of dominance was kind of indicative of what we can expect, I think, in the following matchup with them going up against UC Irvine. So, I mean, looking at the way this one went down and remembering how the first match went down, where does Irvine kind of fit in?
Because of the best of 1 format, how we start off on the nights, it's very difficult to try and read. But I think for Ryerson, basically being a newer team and having this kind of level of commitment onto pushes and stuff like that, that I think might actually put them above UCI right now in a best of 3 format. Based solely off of the first 2 matches that we saw right now, I would have to favor Ryerson.
Should be interesting. You know, this one, like we said, we get 3 maps instead of 1. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And just like that, we have our feature match. What's good, folks? It's F. and it's Jamerson one more time on a fight night here on GiantSlayerTV. Shout out to Sizzle.gg as well. Highlights come in handfuls, so they're the ones that are going to hand you your highlight. So good stuff coming out here tonight as we run through our 1v1s, or specifically our best of ones, excuse me. UC Irvine in our first match of the day took down Dallas, and that means they're the ones that Ryerson has to run into after Utah falls to the wayside. So an interesting matchup here. Ryerson looked, if I can just be honest, man, they look pretty damn strong here.
They did. And of course, it was a best of one. So we only got one look from them, right? And it was on bind. So if this map goes to bind, I feel like it might be in their favor just for the simple fact that their offense looked great. And that's what a lot of teams, especially newer teams, struggle with. Having the coordination for an offense. Coordinating on defense, super easy if you're a new squad, but their offense looked great. UC Irvine on the other side did struggle, but the map was also split. And we kind of see how people will struggle once the sides swap. Luckily for them, they had a 10-2 and a lot of wiggle room to really work with and experiment with. But UC Irvine as well had a decent offensive look for them when they were on split. They were able to get on sites, they were able to execute and be able to get the plants almost every single round. And so maybe my prediction for Ryerson looking better was just me trying to look like I was non-biased because, you know, my alma mater is here in the grand finals.
No, I mean, I'll give it to you. I mean, 13-3 is impressive. Don't forget when we saw Irvine, they finished 10-2 at the half, but then they did lose kind of like 7 straight in a row. So we did see them bleed, so to speak. They didn't exactly bring out the Odins on the enemy team, right? This was a little bit more close on their side of the field. So I understand where you're coming from. But I think the thing that throws me, or that I think tilts me on the other side towards Irvine's world, is the double ops. Looter and Nibbler, when they are locked down, if you get three rounds in a row and you're able to get those double ops, it's almost an impenetrable defense when they're able to execute like that.
Yeah, and so if we go to those maps, if we go to something like an Ascent, you know, that is going to be a powerhouse really to deal with. We didn't really see Ryerson get pushed to that limit where they had to contend up against the double operator play. And so if we do see that, that might be what, of course, UC Irvine have in store for them to really try and shut them down. But this is a best of 3. And so I'm really excited once we do get into the best of 3 territory here. It's going to come down to map picks. It's going to be very important to see what teams pick what, especially because we only have a pool of 4 maps currently.
Yeah, and usually at first we saw a split kind of just left to the wayside, but I think people have sort of started leaving Ascent at home now in lieu of playing split, simply because I think they just have the hours, you know, on the map. Split was one of the original ones, Ascent a little bit newer. With respect to these two teams who look like they've clearly put in the time, I don't think Ascent is kind of the auto leave at home here, especially, like we said, identifying the type of gameplay these guys like to play. What map do you think we're going to leave at home here?
I think in particular it is going to be Ascent. I think Ascent is definitely one of those maps where most teams will struggle on, again, because of the beta play, because of how much time you have in the beta. And so that does make a difference. Right now, I think teams are still also struggling with basically both playing the offense and the defense on Ascent. It's still a huge kind of sandbox, I would say, in terms of like teams actually figuring that one out. And so we do have word from production where we're going for our first map.
We're going to be on Bind, first of all, then we'll go to Split, then we'll go to Haven, which means you're right, we won't see Ascent. Ryerson had map pick, so Bind is their first selection, which means Irvine gets to choose to be attackers. It is worth noting, I'm bringing this up just because it's different. Irvine then selects Split for map number 2, and Ryerson will be attacking. So we'll see how that turns around when we get there, but the Bind start off. No surprise here. I feel like Bind is where most teams start. Haven is comfortable, but I feel like most of the time our map 1 winds up at Bind.
And here, this is where we really look at the information game, right? How much did Irvine learn from watching that last best of 1 for Ryerson? We just left Bind, we're coming right back onto Bind, and their offense looked really good. We were talking about, of course, how they played it fundamentally well, in terms of course, playing around the economy and knowing where they can push, where they can push safely for the most part, avoiding a lot of the closer angles when they were on those anti-eco rounds, not getting, of course, caught out by Bucky Cheese. And they did a really good job of avoiding a lot of the Buckies, the Shorties, and the judges that were actually coming out frequently from Utah.
Difference though with Irvine rather than Utah, and this is something that, because I think this is core to how Irvine kind of approaches the game, is the fact that those ops are on point. We didn't really see that from Utah. They had some good, like you said, so the submachine gun style play. So those the B side was nice for them as long as nobody was going up long. Now all of a sudden you have the coverage there. You're going to have at least one op by round 3, and then probably see them go into those more and more as the game progresses. And that's going to be a different game for Ryerson to play here on Bind than what we saw last time around. Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of mind games coming out from both sides and who's got the better read. I'm hoping, for Irvine's sake here, that they will be able to adjust faster than what we saw in the Ryerson Utah match. Utah did struggle. It took them about 7-6 rounds before they really figured out how Ryerson were playing around their economy and where they need to make the adjustments. But you're absolutely correct. That long B presence, having an operator or even, Vandal in play there is going to be important. We also saw that in the first best of one of the evening that Irvine, their AR game was on point. And so that is also a huge difference in this matchup, that right now going gun for gun, Irvine are going to be able to stand toe to toe, which Utah were not able to do up against Ryerson.
We're also going to take a look at the compositions, game on the way in just a matter of moments. And Sage generally is a must-have if you're looking for that default plan over on A site. You need that wall, very, very effective. Sometimes the smoke walls you can just get shot on through, and Raze does Raze things, and you expect to see a Raze on this map as well. So I think it should be interesting. I guess the question that I want to ask is, will we see the Viper? Neither of these teams brought it out in the first matches that we got to see them play. So I guess that's really just an Irvine specific question.
Yeah, I don't think we're really going to see the Irvine the Viper at all at this point. Sure, you can get some experience with her, but I don't think a week was enough time really to try and figure that one out. When you have limited time, right? Of course, I don't know how many of these players are taking summer classes, but the simple fact that, of course, their time is also split up with coursework as well is going to mean that a lot of their practice when they're not able to scrim is also just going to come down to playing solo on the ranked boards. And at that point, how many times are you actually going to be pulling out Viper when you're grinding out ranked matches?
All the time. What's a rank? What's a rank?
Generally iron is a rank.
Oof, I felt that one. I felt that one right here. Oh, well, what are you, I won't ask you what your rank is, but are you highly ranked these days?
No, I don't play ranked as much just because of my own mental fortitude. I don't have much of it left anymore. So I avoid a lot of stressful situations.
Too real. Jamerson, too real. Usually what happens is I'll load in and I'll be like, all right, yeah, let's play ranked. But first I want to warm up, so I'll play unranked. And then after that game, I'm like, woo, I'm good.
Well, like particularly for me, right? In the past, like I've always kind of
been competitive.
Yeah, been very competitive and held in high esteem. Like, oh yeah, I need to be in the top 500. I need to be rated. I need to be GM, whatever, in whatever game I play, because I don't know. I need that level of authority, or chat's not going to respect me. Chat's never going to respect me. So I've given up.
I've just never been good. Ryerson Irvine, our first round of the evening here. 3 players walking up along. Nibbler grabs the orb and falls all the way back. Sounding alarm. It's an all on B push. Cypher has not made the rotation. Raze has. And Ryerson caught a trap. Phantom.
So you Scotty.
Got a nice kill, but then dashed right into it. Curious play there from Platinum on the jet. So 4-on-4 here. And Ryerson still stuck in the mud, unable to get onto the site. Jay with the explosive gets the kill from around the corner. And after the full commitment onto the B site, Ryerson make the correct choice and go through the port all the way to A. Ryun shows up, blasted by 3. And Irvine have 2 remaining versus 4. again. Smokes are down, and this should be an easy plant here for Ryerson. And the lone Cypher.
Yeah, so at this point, you got to imagine this one does just go away to Ryerson. So what do Irvine do on their eco round is going to be the important part. I think having a game plan for their eco round to really try to take advantage of, I think, the read that we currently have of how they play around the anti-eco rounds. So how do Irvine respond? I want to see if they still have some sort of long B presence, if they go for like a 5-stack somewhere. How do they exactly play this?
I love the idea of the lone bulldog and the ghosts. I've seen a couple of teams at high levels kind of bring out, like, whether it's the bulldog or the specter. I'm lean more towards the bulldog, but going one kind of like offensive weapon and then having everybody else just kind of save for a big push in round 3, because that submachine gun disparity that we talked about in round 3 is very, very real, and I almost all the time want to see teams try to avoid it. Long feet push and no one's there.
Yeah, this is what we expected out of Ryerson, right? We saw in map number 1, well, in the first series for them, this is exactly how they played on the anti-eco round. They completely avoided hookah. They're not going to play within those shorty ranges, and so they get this free plant.
Well done. Looking for the retake, though. Nice shot there from the Stinger. Kylus and Jay combining for the 2.
Found you.
Zyla's taking some pot shots here, but ultimately just a waste of time. That's exactly what he wants to do. No attempt here to defuse, and that's going to be round 2.
It's more about setting up for angles to try and find some exits here, which is, I think, what they're doing. Did he hear him? I don't think he did. Right on the other side. Oh. He's going to go for the peak first.
It's going to be the raids. Look at the distance, too. Wonderfully played by Jay. Also, shout outs to the observation team. Really sick angle there.
And that's what I was talking about. Ryerson, again, understanding that they were in that anti-eco round, avoiding a lot of the trouble spots, avoiding hookah completely, not even trying to contest that whatsoever, taking nothing to chance and playing, going for that long B push once again, which is what we saw in their first series. Now, though, Ryerson are going to be at that weapon disparity, and Irvine are the ones that are going to have the rifles here. And they are playing a bit more aggressively, platinum push all the way up as well.
Alden with the bulldoggy. Remember that crazy play we saw Alden get in their first best of 1, Jamerson?
The most important part, though, is right here. Xylus on this flank once again. They're playing this basically exactly how they did up against Utah.
But no reason to change it. But Zig's
the difference
able to
is there.
2 up. Yeah.
Yeah, the difference is there. That play coming out from Zig, we didn't have that same kind of presence early on coming out from Utah in controlling short A and making sure that they were contesting that. And especially with this flank coming out from Nibbler.
Yeah, there's a big flank right here. Going to be able to find the necessary kills and cut them down. Ryerson, only one remaining. And this is likely going to be Irvine's first step into the game. And this is kind of like, this is kind of like, what is it? Groundhog's Day? Not the movie, the actual holiday. Round 3 really kind of tells you how the game's going to go, I feel, the majority of the time. If round 3 goes to the team that has lost the first couple, I get a real feeling that we're in for a barn burner. And looking at the way these two teams have played, I think the Groundhog saw a shadow.
Yeah, that proper just map awareness and kind of map control coming out from Irvine. I think it was the most telling one. It was a little bit too passive for Utah when they were playing on bind here. Irvine able to take those duels as well now. So coming into this next one, Ryerson, how do they play this one out? As it looks like they do have all basically pushing up to the B side now.
Good call here. Ryerson has to. They should have access. Yeah, you see a couple of different weapons they can run with, but They know that Irvine aren't exactly stacking the shorties here. Oh, right through the smoke. Jay trusting the instincts.
Ooh.
Then gets taken out, but not until the rocket is fired. 3-on-4 here, Jamerson. Ryerson with the advantage.
Got spotted out. Does have his own heal. Will be able to back away, buy some time. I think he just played for the post plan at this position, especially with this flank coming in from Ziggs.
Beautiful stuff so far. The flanks have been really out of control. Teams need to play some anchors. Teams need to be looking behind themselves because they're Nibbler. And now this round, we see another incredible flank. Player's still alive, but the defuse is going to be halfway done. And the noise has covered up the sound, but Alden couldn't get in anyway. A 3-piece there for the Rays. And the defenders take this. We're tied at 2.
Yeah, complete stylistic difference on the defense coming up from Irvine here, as Ryerson definitely don't have an answer for it yet. Now they are going to be forced on to this eco round. They can, of course, buy up just a little bit, get some sheriffs in the hands, and so we'll see what kind of economic damage they can do. Because we really didn't have to see them on an eco, we don't know what Ryerson really pull out of their bag of tricks here. Right now, though, they do have 4 stacked over at short A, but Ziggs is there. He's got that bomb buddy out to try and get some information for them.
All the information is going to be is that someone's there. No numbers given just yet. Jay is going to look to clear out U-Haul. Good enough job there. Ryerson already pushing on 2 right on through. And the kill's gonna go the way of Rays, 2 of them. A nice and one there from behind with the ultimate. Is it main or is it hookah? U-Haul's gonna be the call, not just from Rays, but from everybody. Turns around, gets the kill, easily played. Ryerson all gone. And 4 up for Irvine. So a good round there and an economical round. Irvine only losing 1.
There.
Very much so. Ryerson, though, will have the chance for an op, but it doesn't look like they're going to go for it. If they do, it is going to be a glass cannon op. Or will light armor buy for Jay? I think they're considering it right now.
They're thinking about it for sure. And I think it depends on which direction they choose to go. If they choose to go B, I think we see the op. If not, we see the ARs.
Here.
I say that, and they're headed towards B. Why do you think they choose to leave the op at home and go for the assault rifle here? Is it specifically the B push, or is it just the choice in general?
I think they might just not be comfortable. No one got to really warm up with it.
Yeah.
Beforehand.
That's kind of... Yeah, that's kind of where my mind was as well.
With Irvine taking the 3 rounds in a row as well, it's kind of the mental check as well for Ryerson, right? Like, they're not feeling comfortable in their duels. Irvine have been winning it out pretty handedly when it came to these rifle rounds. And a res coming out as they're going to go ahead and commit onto this.
Love the res call. I love the res call. No reason to give up the round when it's 5v4. If there was 2 kills, maybe you give it up, sure. Especially with how hesitant they've been so far. But 4-on-4, pop the res. That's why you got it. Walk onto the site. 2 coming in from hookah, 3 coming in from main. Ryun and teammate have been pushed up here, but Nibbler getting nibbled on, and Jay finding the big shots. Good damage from the explosives, but Ryun lines them up and finds the kills. 1, 2, 3.
6K ace.
And number 6 is around the corner.
Give him the 6K ace. Come on. Ah, platinum.
You gotta. Nice shot, though, man. 5 kills.
So I'm gonna retract my prediction from earlier. Get him, eater. Zot, let's go, Zot boys. Yeah, this is a completely different look here now. Ryerson were able to just kind of, had a free bind beforehand, but now they're getting completely challenged, and Irvine have been brushing them aside for the most part. And so this is very scary now if you're a Ryerson fan. Is Irvine. I like how Platinum's been playing this with the operator. This is the same kind of presence that we needed to see coming out from Utah. They had a jet as well, but they were never able to pull that off. And this is why the jet is so important if you're going to be playing that defensive operator. You get that kind of dynamic play. You get the pick and you just back right out.
That is a position that I absolutely abhor anybody playing unless they're on jet. Raises like to be kind of cute and think that they can kind of like satchel charge most of themselves out of that corner, but it's just not as effective. That angle is effective, but you then get trapped there and easily rushed. So I'm with you. I think it's been really interesting. It's been really fun watching players adjust and adapt the jet play. Oh, spike down. That's huge.
Out of here.
Looter finds the shot through the smoke. And honestly, everything's coming up Millhouse here for Irvine.
Yeah, I mean, we heard it was storming over on Florida, but now it's storming in this game here, and they've got their water shorts on. So Irvine were able to really weather that initial first 2 rounds, and they've taken 5 in a row here.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
We'll see what Ryerson do. They've kind of given up on that A play. They have to, I think. Once it came down to the rifle rounds, again, Irvine's presence across the map has been so good. They haven't been able to do what they were able to do for free in their first best of 1. Oh?
Oh, nice little dodge. Nice secondary dodge. Move, zig, or go home.
Oh, he had them dancing shoes on. He was ready. He's going out to the club tonight.
I sincerely hope not.
Yeah, please don't. Stay at home, guys. I want lands again.
Me too. Stay home, playing Fight Night. Executes coming out as the smokes fall down. Satchel charge going to look to clear around the left-hand side. Player on the right side, but it's going to be avoided. Looter won't. Takes down Kylus. A slow execution. 4-on-4. Jay's getting antsy. Jumps up, taken down. But Looter winds up eating it after the fact. Ryun says sorry. Reses and gets the kill. A beautiful round here for the Sage player. As Nibbler one more time finds the flank and gets paid for it. The mirror match goes his way. And the slow single peek, not a great look here. Sova eventually eats it. Irvine up 6. Ryerson only with 2.
And just golf clubs for Ryun right now. I mean, you can see exactly why. Top frag for the squad. I mean, that 5 round, of course, not was it the 5th round? I forget, but picking up that ace, of course, will put him up there. But he has been stand out, and especially with that play right there, very small fundamental play, but of course, covering that res. Oftentimes, of course, we see a lot of the diebacks just because people kind of forget that you need to cover the res. And you saw him holding that angle over by Showers. He's not going to allow his teammate to go down. He is playing that proper support, that combat medic.
Very intentional play, not just the guy that locked in last. I think that's how the game is played all the way through Platinum. Everybody just locks stuff in and goes, "You gonna play Sage or what?"
Blocking sight.
Another slow one here. An early, or rather a quick first half of the evening. We start our broadcast at 8 o'clock Eastern. Make sure to join us on a somewhat weekly basis here, folks. And just under 2 hours since we started, and we're already here into our best of 3. Nibbler with the double kill inside the Showers, leaving Ryerson with 3. But Alden, man, give him the weird guts. Got a quadra kill with the Bulldoggy, and now scouting it down.
And it wasn't just a quadra, it was a 1v4, by the way. We have to remember that.
And actually, where my Halo fans at, that was an overkill. He got those 4 kills in very quick succession.
Open up the sky.
Brimstone opening up the sky. Is it enough? The Molotov will be. And one remains. Brimstone charges. Eesh. And Platinum finds it from a distance. Ryerson gets the kills, but Irvine gets the defuse. 7-2 after 9.
Now this is really worrying because we didn't really have to see much else coming out from Ryerson, but it looks like it's just the one well that they've got. This execute onto the A site, the default execute. Irvine have figured out how to quell it. The presence coming out from both Looter and Nibbler on the A site have been absolutely stellar. They haven't been getting caught out on angles. They've been actually catching Ryerson on some off angles themselves. And so this has been an excellent defense. It's just really solid anchors coming out from those two players.
Platinum, one of the most antsy op players I've ever seen before. Usually op players just sit there and like, you question if you're still connected. Nibbler. Effective wallbang there.
Enemy kill.
And Platinum's fidgety sniper play pays off. Faso does find one, but it's a 3-man push here. No ultimate available for Sage, so we won't be able to change those numbers. Cypher does have access, but somebody's got to give him a corpse before we can see that happen. Oh no, it's got stuck. See you later. Beautiful play by Nibbler. And then finds one the old-fashioned way as well.
And again, we're seeing Ryerson now going back to the old well, and I think we're seeing the struggles of a newly formed team. While they looked good in their initial best of one, here now it's a completely different look as Irvine has an answer for it, and Ryerson have nothing else to really bring to the table for their offense.
I actually, you know, if I can be like the selfish like commentator, this is actually awesome because we essentially get to see the Charmeleon team. You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that? Like early rounds, you get the sort of level 1 guys who are just kind of throwing it at the wall, seeing what sticks. But then you level up as a team into that mid-range and you learn 1 or 2 plays. And then we see the Charizard here with Irvine that has an answer, can adapt, and have multiple playbooks. Ryerson's a team that's clearly like on the way up. And it's really kind of cool to see one mid-evolution here. Like we've been able to kind of see them tonight.
I agree. I think with more time, of course, we will see more out of Ryerson. I do like what we've seen so far in the last 2 showings from them. But currently, it's Irvine who honestly have such a good game currently. And a lot of that, you know, can also come down to just the esports history for a lot of the players. You know, they've played competitive collegiate for a long time now. A lot of these players, 2-3 years. We're going on, and so that's a lot of history, but it's also kind of like the financial backing as well that Irvine have. A lot of players, of course, on some scholarships, having that extra support structure that allows them to commit a little bit harder onto competitive esports. Here is we're seeing why, you know, Jet player on the operator, really strong. Oh, 2 HP.
Secondary fallback attempt, not as clean.
That would have been a cheeky little play coming out from Platinum there.
I think it was a cheeky play regardless if he got the kill or not.
Nowhere to run.
Brofaso looks good here, and Ryerson kind of biting back in the final round of the half. Trying to see if they can finish this off 9-3, and it looks like they just might. 1 player left, and Ryerson have the spike down. That player's on the backside.
Yeah, they know exactly where he is as well. They had the Cypher ultimate to work with. Can Nibbler do it? No. So Ryerson at the very least here on the offensive side get a 3rd round on the board, but that's not much of a new lease on life here. You're going into the defensive side. I feel like Irvine, you know, while they might have struggled a bit on their offense on split, it's completely different here. We got to see what a team who's coordinated, who have good executes, can do on their offensive side. So Irvine, I think, you know, with their ability to be able to execute well, they should be able to succeed. And it comes down to this pistol round. Ryerson desperately needed to win this one.
9-3 at the half. Irvine, yeah, desperate is not the wrong adjective to use. Irvine have a shorty in the pocket, which tells me we're going to hookah. Silver arrow meant to show that sort of lobby down by B long, but won't show much of anything as the pistol shot takes it on down. Smokes on top of hookah, meaning the players will be able to walk on in. Half HP already for Platinum. Still gets the shot. Max range with the shotgun. The pistols aren't good enough, and Ryerson have 3 left to deal with Irvine's 3.
Right between the
And a beautiful shot there from Nibbler to win the trade in hookah. Spike down. Ryerson 2v2. Nice shots from backside. Silas and a teammate versus just one. The heal is strong, and Ryerson taking their time are smart here, but Nibbler with the molly lineup. Check this one out. That's gonna stop the defuse for a little bit.
He's got no heal.
Gotcha.
Gotcha, that's right. Brimstone wins 1 trade, keeps the player off, makes the peek, loses the fight, but also loses the round. 0.40 left on the timer. Ryerson win the first round of the half.
But that was just, I would say, a really good look for Nibbler, who has now taken up the mantle of top frag for the team. And it came down to milliseconds there. If he had maybe waited another second to try and challenge for that peak once again, but still, good look. They were able to get that plant, and that's what we're talking about. UC Irvine, the fact that they have another set play, a little bit more in the pocket in terms of basically the offensive side. You have to imagine that they know the default A play, and they can go for that. And it looks like that's what they're going to do here.
These are the matches that count. You know, I used the Pokemon reference before. This is where Ryerson's walking around in the tall grass. They get to learn through these experiences. Silas doesn't really learn much of anything, just pulls the trigger through the smoke. Finds the flank though. And a strong push onto the site is just neutered by Silas up close and personal. 1 through the smoke, 1 through the backside with the flank, and the other after the fact. The defuse goes to Alden for the Sova ultimate. And that's number 5 here for Ryerson. 2 in a row, 3 in a row if you count the last one of the last half.
But it's the rifle rounds. Irvine have won almost every single rifle round. When it came down to it on the other side, does Ryerson have an answer for this first operator coming out in the half? And it's going to be, of course, in the hands of Platinum.
Yep.
And so how do Ryerson here have to play on the defensive end? Because again, we didn't really get to see much from their defense in their first best of 1 of the evening. Do they have an answer for this defense? Irvine already setting up a very defensive angle here, or a default angle, excuse me.
Honestly, it's default and defensive here kind of makes sense. Like, defensive on the offensive side is tough to wrap your head around, but when you're playing default, you're largely keeping your cards close to your chest. And I think that's what Irvine want to do here. They're able to get some guns, some traction under their feet, and things haven't been going their way. And so play it slow, play it perhaps less slow and more controlled is the term I want to use. That's what spreading out and looking for contact allows you to do. So Irvine, unable to really find an entrance just yet. They're going to leverage Platinum's op here on A site and bring the spike over there. 3 players defending B site, Jamerson. This could be the opportunity for Irvine to break on into double digits.
Did you see all that swap as well? Nibbler swapping for that operator here. And so that's going to be, of course, the jet coming in. Now, the spike has gone down onto the A side as the rotates are coming out. It's going to be the first kill for Platinum, and that's what I'm talking about. That gun swap for Platinum working out in their favor, but Jay with a double kill.
Oh, man. Right there. Double J, but it's Looter that stops this onslaught.
Headshot.
Alden, however, gets one traded. 2 versus 2. Goes Zig in the corner, gets the information, gets the pre-fire and through the wall. Kylas has to sit in the fire, doesn't have the HP for it. Pops over the wall, and the kill is good. Zig gets the shot. 15 in the pocket, and Irvine own 2/3.
I'm really impressed by that play coming out from Irvine. Again, the small micro decision to swap the operator for the Phantom into the hands of Platinum there so that he can take that angle, take those aim duels, because of course he is going to be committing with that updraft basically. So he's able to like stand there and basically play kind of like a sentry turret up top on that boost instead of hard committing with a gun like the operator instead. Now we've got the knives coming out for Irvine here. We'll see if Platinum can find anything with it.
No, I'm the hunter.
Easy kill for Jay already. The Silva spam. Just getting it on out of there. You know, that's all, that also speaks to, going back to the play you were gushing about, that also speaks to trusting your teammates. You know, there's no conversation at all. Just give me the gun. I have the better angle. Absolutely, boss. No problem. Platinum fires. It's a cute play, and I'll break it down in a second. But the spike goes down.
Oh.
Just to burst the wall, right?
I think it was looking for a little bit more of a cheeky angle because they had one section of the wall already broken.
Right. Oh, okay. Nibbler by himself? By himself. And the defuse is good. Alden trades for life. But I really like the play that Platinum did there. Did you catch it? So you had the shotty, you had the shorty out, fires the shot before turning the corner, and then he pulls the knives out, right? So it's like the player will back up into that U-Haul expecting the shot, the shorty, but with the knives out, it doesn't matter. So the player's trying to play around a gun that isn't even in the hands of the jet player. I thought that was a really cute use of sound.
I think one of the things we also haven't touched upon is kind of the expectations of who the power players are on a squad right now. And you see Irvine kind of demonstrating that every single role can still be a power player. That was kind of one of the big discussions, I think, that revolved around some of the pro teams. And Wardell said it himself that anyone can frag out, anyone can have a great day and be a power player. And that's what we're kind of seeing out of Irvine right now. Is if we take a look at the score line, it's so even across the board.
Gunner.
Message sent.
I know exactly where you are.
You will not kill my allies.
All right, here we go. 4v2 in this post plant, and they just kind of have to save their economy here. Again, when so much is on the line, when you're already, 2 matches away from or 2 rounds away from losing it, Ryerson need to maintain a decent economy here, especially with this operator. So they're going to go for the full say and try to play for exits. Might actually be able to pick one up. No, backs away as he checks that camera. So they'll be able to save this into the next round. And so even though now things are, of course, a little bit tighter, a little bit scarier for them, at least they're going to have a fighting chance here with 2 Phantoms and an operator. Going to pick up a couple of SMGs for their troubles. And now Irvine, they've got a chance to try and close this one out. Platinum, he could have been bought for, but he's going to be playing with a judge. And so that's... right now, with their current stack over at short A, I see him just going tailwind straight into and clearing out U-Hauls with that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say was Jet with the judge can actually get it down. High angle exposed themselves by throwing a projectile, so everybody on defense knows somebody's up there, but they don't know they're on the site. Oh, back end is going to be caught out. Jay finds Nibbler with the explosive shot. And Platinum obviously making their way through U-Haul thanks to the close angle judge. Ryun grabs 2 from a distance, and there comes Platinum.
Your duty is not over.
Judge Jet gets taken down by Kylus. Sage Roland trips.
Barrier created.
And the one player left will come from the backside. Neither player knows about this. One for the money.
Valiant effort.
There's no show. Not at
I
all.
will not die.
Zig hits it and misses it. And that's number 7 for Ryerson. Oh, man. That's a tough one to drop.
These are very scary rounds, though, if you're Ryerson. As that honestly could have been just the win. Imagine if he had swapped off to that judge. We knew the judge was actually down there. So I feel like that could have been an option for them. If he had just picked up that judge, knowing that 2 of them were probably playing that angle over there to get that defuse.
This goes
But
here.
still, Irvine, I like what we're seeing out of their offense right now. We're seeing very dynamic plays, very smart plays as well. But that challenge, Zig's going down to Jay.
And Jay gets the kill, but he's also he's buying his teammate a McDouble right there. Good coverage from the Cypher player, allowing that to happen. Otherwise, the Boombot makes that an even trade. Irvine walking up long. Looter's going to be leading the charge, cutting down the Sage wall. 4 players up, no res for Ryerson. 4 players up for Irvine, no res either. Teleporter used. And our Call of Duty match makes its way to B site.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to sell the fake for right now. But Nibbler rotates on back, and we see this play all the time. The double teleporter. They do need to clear out back sight here, and so it's going to be up to Ryun.
Oof. That's one that you go back and you watch the VOD, and you go, yeah, man, what am I supposed to do?
Up.
I know exactly where.
Taken out. Concentrate, Sova. Nowhere to run!
Blocking sight. Cypher removed.
Cage triggered.
I think that's something that teams have, especially with players being, Riot has done a really good job of attracting players new to the genre. And so we're seeing these kind of warm up, or these kind of like meta ramp ups in ways that we haven't before. And players kind of getting accustomed to the idea that like, okay, I'm here to defend my site, got to use my utility now. That's not always the play. Sometimes you just wait for the execute and then can fall back. And I think we've been seeing a little bit more embracement of that defensive play, like you said, at the highest level. Getting a chance to see kind of these, the competition flesh out as we get more and more high-end tournaments available to us. Our very own Fight Night included. We've seen a number of teams wind up, you know, on ESPN ranked lists with strong high-end organizations behind them. So, you know, show up on Tuesdays and catch out some of the non-collegiate action, because that's kind of a gas to see everybody showing up and improving over time. Spike still left at mid here. Irvine down 1, have to find a place to aggress on with 4. Looks like B.
Now, again, of course, we're not seeing those rotates, even though a lot of noise is being made by Irvine over here. So we're seeing Ryerson still playing this well. They've got 2 over at the A site. They do have the rotate coming out now, as there's that res, and that's when you know it is going to be a commit onto the site here. So we're seeing the rotations come out. Alden finds Ziggs for a second time.
That's big though. Spike dropped down in hookah. No longer is there going to be an okie doke plant. It has to be combat. Kylus gets the kill on a platinum. Irvine, 1 left. Nibbler refuses to die. 3 in the pocket for the Brimstone main. Goes upstairs, grabs the spike. Still here. Rotate to A is what I'm screaming inside. But the player choosing to stay here. And the defenders are able to win, unable to get onto the site. Didn't have the time to rotate, clearly. And so it's 12-10.
They also get a much very needed res right there. I believe it was Jay that got brought back. And so they have the operator once again. They're holding on to this economy, which it could have been really bad if they weren't able to hold on to that. And so now take a look. Nibbler, he does have his ultimate here. And so they're considering making that A push. Last time we saw it, of course, it was to clear out U-Hauls, and that might be the play once again. Bomb Buddy's going to be really important for Irvine here, as they know that the operator player is over here for Irvine. They can get aggressive on this.
Platinum high up, holding the odd angle. Ryerson reacting, but largely beyond that 50-yard line, so to speak. U-Haul being that line. Cutting the site in half. Platinum, the odd angle pays off, grabs 1, falls off of it, knows that that's going to be a spot to look at for the enemy team. And everyone getting lucky, bro. Faso. Oh, man. Just finding these shots. Brimstone ultimate comes through, and the spike unable to be defused at this point, especially with the molly. And that be that. Irvine take map number 1. Not so easy peasy.
Not so easy indeed, but very crucial play coming out from Zig, I believe. Throwing that Bomb Buddy down and hearing the operator there made it much easier for them to commit onto the play, onto the ace site. But take a look at these score lines. You know, Looter, the only one really struggling, 9, 15, and 6, but 22, 19, 20, and 15 frags across the board. And this is what we're talking about. A lot of teams just bring on heavy fraggers across the board that any player, regardless of the rule, can be a power player and can absolutely frag out. It's just about playing on the day.
That's another thing that I kind of wanted to talk about, where with respects to Valorant and bringing in players that are newer to the genre. Sage is not played like Mercy. That's not the approach to these games. And you know, everybody likes to mock the devs are saying, you know, gunplay will matter, abilities won't do damage or whatnot. But, you know, put the memes away, that really is what we're doing. Gunplay is absolutely what matters first. You can frag out and be the Sage main on the team. And that mentality that like healers or support characters need to play in the back, sure, to a certain extent, Cypher needs a corpse to see, and if you die with the res, you're doing the wrong thing. But I mean, frag out, man. Play who you want. That's the fun of this game.
And the way both Kylus and Rayun were playing, of course, on their stages respectively, both sides, they were playing it really well, I would say. Again, it came down to basic fundamental play. When you're going for the peaks, a lot of times you want to go for the double peaks, and that's what they were there for. They were consistently there for a lot of the trades. That's why you got to see them so high up in terms of the leaderboards. And so really excellent play coming out from both. It was just at this end, hey, I've got a mouse on my head. At this end, it was, of course, going to be Irvine taking the win. They had a huge advantage going into their attacking side. So it took them a while. But again, it's about dissecting them, downloading the info, and really figuring out the game style play and then playing around it. And that's what they were able to do, again, for a second time tonight.
I'm kind of excited for this next one here, Split. And Ryerson chooses attack. Here's why I'm excited. I think that, you know, when you choose attack, you're obviously very comfortable in how strong you are on attack. Ryerson gets to our finals here tonight because of their prowess of on the attacking side. For what it's worth, that wasn't on this map. They were attacking on Bind, but the idea that Ryerson might be a better offensive team than they consider themselves defensive certainly makes me interested in the fact that they picked attack, and this is on Split. So I'm very interested, and I think that, especially look at the way the second half of that game went, there's a very large chance we wind up on a map number 3.
Yeah, quite possibly. But their defensive look on Bind, it was fantastic, I think. Really able to thwart a lot of UC Irvine's offense. You know, I think going gun for gun up against them as well, it looked really good. And so I you know, definitely shouldn't sell them short on that side. But yeah, their offense on Bind also looked good, but Irvine's defense was just way too strong. They had a really good answer, and I think maybe being able to see Bind being played out earlier in the day gave them a lot of information to work around.
That's actually true. Yeah, we saw it was Split that Irvine and Dallas played, but then later on we saw Bind between Utah and Ryerson over there. So definitely a little bit more information to be garnered for sure, like you said. So that absolutely might kind of lean into this one. Split again. Very mid-centric. So I want to, here's where I want to zoom out and just ask you a straight up meta question, because when Reyna came out, she dominated this map. That mid section just belonged to Reyna. Did people just kind of back up and go, just Sage Wallet? Or is there a more nuanced answer?
I honestly don't know. I think right now just like the overall power of her has gone down in terms of how people have learned how to play against her, because she is a little bit feast or famine, right? If your entry isn't as strong, right? If your initial entry fragger isn't as strong, maybe you don't really bring her in. And I think kind of running that risk when you don't know the power levels of about basically player versus player, you don't run that risk.
That makes sense.
If you're feeling a bit more comfortable and you feel like you do have the stronger entry, then you can definitely play her more often, I feel like.
A little riskier version of Phoenix a little bit, right? Like Phoenix, you have the run it back that you can kind of bust onto a site and use that just for pure information's sake. Whereas Empress, you're really like, all right, I'm gonna get a 3-piece here, or I've kind of failed. So so the Phoenix give you a little bit cushioning there. Teams getting ready to line up here as they select all their characters and get locked in. Ryerson are down one as UC Irvine have kind of grabbed that first one. Did take them 23 rounds though, and that's why I'm really excited for this next one. And we could wind up on Haven. That's the third map lurking behind us here. So another exciting night here on GiantSlayerTV. We do this almost every week. Now we're kind of changing things up to offer a little bit more of a bigger tournament, which is always fun because we've seen more and more people get interested as we've seen the weeks go on and on. So kind of building up more of a fan base, so to speak, here on our own little channel.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've been having such a fun time working with everyone here. And so being able to continue to do this has been excellent to see. And especially if we can offer more prize money for the teams that have been competing. Like, of course, I'd be down. Any way we can support them more would be fantastic. And so I'd love to look into that. But right now, just making sure that we give them eyes for people to, be able to watch them play, because we are seeing some exciting play. And like you said, Ryerson choosing attack, I am really excited to explore what they bring to the table here, because oftentimes you don't see anyone picking split attacking site starting. So I'm really excited for that.
I remain the dark horse. We're gonna jump in about. I lost count. I was keeping count in my head, but like 7 seconds or so, I bet. I am the dark horse. So I have for a long time said that, and you know, truth be told, there are probably people that know better than I. But I've long claimed that split is attacker sided. And on our latest big tournament, we did see some teams kind of concede that there are maps that are attacker sided, not split. I still maintain that split might be attacker sided. Ryerson kind of reaching into that bag as well. We'll see how they attack and why they choose to be on the attacker side. Quick look at compositions, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, Jay will be picking up the Jet, was playing the Raze beforehand. It's gonna be, I believe, it was Platinum who was playing the Jet on the other map on Bind, but instead this time starting off on Phoenix here for the defense. And so interesting to see that one out. And so we really do have to look at Jay and see what he can bring to the table with this Jet pick on the offense.
Area reveal up in mid, going to be denied here by Platinum. 3 separate players standing here just outside of Malk. The entirety of Ryerson pushing up mid. Wall goes up, and a little bit of information gleaned. And the walk through sewers might be on.
I liked how Ryerson did try to go for that timing peak when they didn't see the wall early on. Almost caught out Irvine. Luckily, they survived that one now, but this big move coming out from Ryerson, once we get this shot come out, they'll be making their play onto it. They will be slowed down, though, because they do have that Cypher here.
Sova tries for it. Gone. Luder's able to find the first one, and go Zigger, go home, grabs it with the explosive device. Nibbler finds kill number 4. And kill number 5 with the fancy shorty already spotted out. Dash denied. Irvine up 1.
We've been seeing a lot of Jet tonight, trying to go for that play. It's just Platinum tried to do it a number of times, I think, on Bind, and it didn't. Or was it?
It was on.
Was it here on Split?
It was on. Well, we saw last round. The Platinum picked up the Judge and tried to get a little cheeky. I mean, shotgun short dash is not a. You see it everywhere from Iron to Immortal, man. Cute camera. But a slow play here from Ryerson. 4 players on the B side of the map. A lonely individual on A. Losing 1, the reassessment of B site. Ryerson will centralize one more time.
The surprising thing here for Irvine is just, I was gonna say how cheap they were on this buy, but I mean, I didn't want to sound as negative, but this is huge. If they can win out without having invested into rifles, I think with how back and forth the defense went on to Bind, being able to contend in 3rd round, rifle versus rifle, is going to be massive for them. And so I like that they actually went for this. We don't see many teams sticking with the pistols. They end up bringing the SMGs, but this trade, Ryun!
Step 3rd. And I mean, this is also one of my little pocket, you know, one of my little tenants that I signed my name next to. Save round 2. Save round 2. Looter has the op in the 3rd round. Somebody's gonna get shot in the dome and complain about it. This is my play. Like, you know how you got stubborn coaches, right? Where my NBA fans out. You got to play the triangle if you're playing with Phil Jackson. That's it. That's the only option. You got to play run and gun if you're playing under Dan Tony, right? If I'm coaching a team, you got to save on round 2.
Like, I don't watch basketball, but I grew up in LA, so I got that reference at the very least. You know?
Play style is important, man. And the save round 2 is scary, but oh so effective. Platinum trying to play high there. Falls down. A very noisy mid occupation. And I use that term intentionally because Ryerson aren't pushing. They're just occupying this mid lane. Too quiet, too fast. Irvine knows that the play has gone away from mid. And Ryerson coming back here is actually kind of cute. Do they go all the way underground or do they commit to the mid B? Underground's the call.
Oh, Looter.
Off the mark, has the teammate to help out. Go Zig or go home from heaven. Able to cut him down with the AR. And the op shots, a little haphazard. Ooh. Kylus sees it, Kylus misses it. Ryun and Alden trade out. And Nibbler follows up, and again, go Zig or go home is the ultimate teammate. Falls down after the fact, and we've got a checkerboard of a kill feed here.
Yeah, it's going to be a complete save here as Bomb or the Spike is just completely. He didn't have time. He didn't have time at all. So I like the respect that we're seeing out of both sides. You know, playing very defaults and playing very cautiously. Even though that last map went to Irvine, they have to give respect to Ryerson here because it wasn't a clean win. Those rifle rounds were going back and forth. And so Irvine garnering a lot of respect, or Ryerson garnering a lot of respect out of Irvine right now, as we do see a little bit of a force-up coming out from them. We've got the Marshall in play along with, I believe, one Phantom. So we'll see what they can get with this.
Ooh. Alden... I feel like it's worth noting that Alden has gotten a kill with the Marshall before in like tonight. Marshall is such a specialist weapon. When you see somebody pick it up, they're either going to get the kills or they're not. Ryun, on the other hand, picks up 2, and so does Zig. The lonely Cypher one more time. And dying in the mail. Something to be said there. Xylus with 4 before he goes down. A nice try, but Irvine take the round. Talk to me about the economic implication there with Ryerson killing 4.
That's actually pretty large. Take a look at the money for Ziggs. He's really got nothing he's gonna need to buy, but he can only buy really for 1 player. And so, yeah, Ziggs goes for that SMG. And so this gives them a little bit of a power difference coming out of this. But the most important part is that, like, we're 5 rounds in and Irvine doesn't have a massive bank. And so Ryerson are grinding away at that economy. Eventually they can break the back of Irvine if they get a massive win.
Yeah, this is one of the, this is, I'm very eager to see how Ryerson is able to handle this one. Alden starts us off hot by taking down Looter. Ryun reses, but then dies. Kylus finds him and some. Alden finishes off getting the second part of his double kill. And it's 2 on 3.
3 goals.
Oof. Good plays there from Alden's. Man, Alden has been top frag all night for this team. Ryerson definitely know where their power player is. Spike down at A site.
Oh.
Oh no, you gotta check that for real.
So this is what we were talking about actually just beforehand, right? At the beginning of the round, why it was so important that in the round before it came down to just 1 player remaining for Irvine. Take a look at their bank, completely broken here. And so Ryerson can ride off the back of this and pick up a few rounds. Irvine, they will be investing a little bit. We do see that Judge along with the Shorty in play. Ryerson, though, have been doing an excellent job of playing around those kind of on these anti-eco rounds. Nibbler barely making it behind cover.
Killed. Jay with the penetration kill here. 1 player up top, and the Shorty drop is strong. but the blind headshot just as strong. This is one of the most important rounds of the contest, mind you. Ryerson has been doing that chip away style play that Jamerson was highlighting with respect to taking away the economy despite fighting the losses every single time. Then this is the moment where you have to take advantage of that chip away. Should Ryerson get this win, they can follow it up again, and all of a sudden they're right on back. If Ryerson backslide here, that's Irvine's chance to kind of take it and run with it. You're going to have 2 moments like this, I feel like, 2 to 3 moments of like this round per game. And so Ryerson have their footing here, and they're trying to continue. Jay gets the 3rd kill, and Brofaso here looking for the 4th. But this one's all Ryerson, 4-2 after 6.
Fluter could have just gotten 1 more pellet onto the head. That could have been the kill. 14 HP, Jay survives with there. That was so close. But now it's going to be another rifle round coming out. We'll see. Irvine. Do they change up anything for this defense? And it looks like they will. They're playing now with their raise over by A site, which before she was covering, I believe, by mid. Phoenix is going to get a little bit aggressive for Irvine, though. Over at B main.
What's this?
Cute play from Jay.
Yeah, I appreciate that one a lot.
Getting good information from up top, has the knives just in case. That's those are the smaller things. A lot of people are always like, I got my ult, gotta be flashy. That's a boring play that is necessary.
Smoke's down. Sit still.
Oh,
Nibbler.
Nibbler.
Clean shot. That animation is so much. Imagine if it was like a Pokemon. If you didn't have enough kills, the gun would just shoot you back.
Struggle.
It did not listen to the attack. Go Zig or go home. Absolutely making sure Kylus is listening. 1 right through the ear hole. Xylus and Nibbler win their trade. And Brofaso cuts Ryerson, or cuts Irvine down, excuse me, and puts Ryerson in a great spot. 2v2. Spike down.
They don't have 50 HP between them right now on our Ryerson side.
Deleted.
Remember, he's just one shot. He could get wallbanged here.
2 players walking down, got to peek at the same time. It do not matter. And Ryun has gotten the kills. As far as the like finishing animation, Oni by far has the best one.
Mm-hmm.
No contest. Like no contest at all. Even the new one, even the new fun one, I think the finisher is cooler on the Oni.
One adjustment also I didn't talk about beforehand was swapping looter from the A site to the B site. We saw that throughout the entire match with Dallas on split earlier today. Looter was playing over at the A side, and he was a solid anchor for them, but has since in this matchup not been able to contribute as much. And making this adjustment, sending Nibbler over there, it looks like it's a solid defense for them here. As Alden trying to get something. The res does come out.
And it's good.
Joke's over. You're dead.
Here comes Phoenix, flash out mid. Player to the right side, sees him in front, grabs both, and then runs it on back. 3. Here's the flash, and there's number 4. Can't find the ace, but has the teammate in the wings. Ryun takes down Jay. Don't forget there was a res. That's why there's 6 lives to be taken from Ryerson this round. And Irvine needs 6 to gain 6. And there you have it.
There was no need for Nibbler to do that. Like, just playing Predator, you know, messing with the prey.
I like it though.
Now it's Ryerson though, who are in that dangerous territory. They will be a full max round loss bonus. They're going for a force up because they know they've got the money behind it, and so they have a halfway decent buy here. Actually, yeah, four heavy armors along with the ARs, and so don't know exactly how much they'll be able to commit into the next round.
Well, this also is huge because Irvine also are low on the monies. Their two top frags have about $400 left, so if they just die easily, they're not going to be able to buy the way they would like to. So this is another one of those foothold rounds for sure, but on both sides of the coin. So this one's real important. Maybe that's why they're playing it a little bit slower. Where's that stack? Everybody in mid. If Irvine, Brimstone, there it is. Oh, wrong spot. Ryerson dropped their Hellfire. Irvine still has it.
Oh no!
Oh, the dash! Nibbler only gets one, but Jay has cut down a half HP. A nice hold from Irvine's Brimstone. And Platinum gets the kill. Flashes, gets the secondary, spike down up in heaven. Platinum is a friend, needs them. And that's the response. Claps from Jamerson. And I'm not wearing a hat, but if I was, I'd tip it.
Yeah, on tip of the hat to Irvine there. It's a quick response, honestly. The counter Brimstone ultimate to basically trap them in the barbecue pit, essentially. If it weren't for, of course, that tailwind, that would have been a double kill for him.
Yeah.
Right now, yeah, Ryerson just running out of gas, or I guess propane at this point here. As I commend them. I think, you know, that going for their own Brimstone ult and starting it all off, going for heaven, made a lot of sense. It was just quick reactions from Irvine, but then he got caught out by it. Now it's going to be a full heavy push coming out from Ryerson onto the A site, but they're being slowed down here. And Ziggs has been doing this continually, playing up on this angle. Every time he sees anyone try to make a push, or if he hears it, just throws down all of his utility. And it's been working.
Yeah, he's been extremely successful. And it's not just because, and I was just going to bring that up, it's not because Zig has just been the best guy in the field, it's because he's playing around his teammates really well. I think you can look at it in a negative light and say baiting his teammates, but he's just playing around his teammates' angles, and it's been really, really powerful, allowing him to find those secondary kill opportunities. We've got the 4-on-4, and Nibbler wants to make sure my math is wrong. Puts two away through the smoke. And so a 4-on-2 here for Irvine. Ryerson, though, still active, baby.
Here.
Well done there by Looter. Pinged it out. I wonder if that's...
Cage.
You think there's a chance Looter's not on comms? Why would you ping in a competitive match?
I don't know.
Just like old habit, I guess. Like people that play a lot of ranked.
Possibly, yeah. I will, you know, speaking of Looter, though, I think this kind of swap up that they've made, Looter going over to the B site and Nibbler playing Anchor, oddly enough, especially as the Brimstone, which you don't often see, right? Like, I don't know how often I see the Brimstone playing A, or especially backside A like this. If he's playing anywhere,
Fires out.
I see him quite frequently, basically where their Raze has been playing. But he's been solid for them. He's been holding it down. His sprays through the smoke have been so strong at delaying Ryerson. And so I like this adjustment coming out from Irvine. Very smart play coming out from the team.
Rain pops the wall. And the punish shot's gonna miss. One from the underground is gonna stay underground, and Ryerson waking up here. Everybody heading towards A. Nobody in an Irvine jersey on that bomb site, so Ryerson's gonna have a free and clear chance to go ahead here and find a plant. Something they haven't done very often this time around. Plant's good. Irvine have to come in here. 2 versus 4. Jamerson, do they save?
No. You just try to do as much economic damage to Ryerson as you can. Because they do get the match round win, you know, like their money isn't quite the same as So right now, getting those hands out of them, let's see exactly what they have. Oh, just enough actually. Yeah, they've got plenty of money. Never mind.
Someone get this.
So right now, Irvine as well will be able to full buy, and so it's gonna be rifle versus rifle once again.
Thank you.
Irvine. We'll see if they can close this out with a 9-3 in the first half. But take a look at the ult disparity between the two teams. They got the showstopper, they got the run it back along with the res. Ryerson right now only sitting on the knives along with the res as well.
Smoke's down.
I didn't actually catch a glimpse of what the Brimstones have currently. Like how much is Nibbler sitting on? Alden actually 1 kill away. So if they can get this orb for him, it'd be massive. And they secure it.
Nice job. Dash through, gets hit by the
Deploying drone. I know
tripwire.
exactly where you are.
And Looter with the download, baby.
Shot done.
Alden tries to take care of the Baldy with the left shot, won't find it. He still doesn't have his head on. B-side a little too thickly defended. And so Ryerson gonna reassess and just get some shots down. Ryoun
Joke's
falls.
over. You're dead.
And everybody is done joking. Both Phoenixes pop their ults, come down mid. Platinum hiding in the smoke. Walks on through, looks to the left, taken down, just kidding. That's the ultimate speaking. And so still a 4-on-4 after all that. Ryerson with half a minute, rotating towards A. Shots coming out from ups the hill, and Xylus is able to isolate Nibbler. Everybody's stuck in this corner. Xylus trying to walk in, lead the charge, does so well. 10 HP. Platinum hiding. Sees one, looks the wrong way. Xylus with a 3-piece. And there's one left here for Irvine. Ryerson have the upper hand here. Want to end 8-4. Wouldn't be that bad of a half. Looter drops down, grabs one, can't find the second. And Ryerson take 4 on offense, looking at Irvine's 8.
This is doable. This is still doable, I would say, because we saw Irvine struggling from a 10-2 half. And they definitely struggled on their defense with the last time we had the swap. That it didn't look comfortable in the way they cleaned it out. And so Ryerson now with a bit more wiggle room than we saw Dallas have in the first best of 1 tonight. So Irvine, they have to be clean. They have to be immaculate. This offense, it needs to get going, and it's going to be off the back of this pistol round here.
You had mentioned something earlier in the evening about how there has been a slow meta creep towards the frenzy. Now, obviously, this gun sort of makes sense in close quarter combat, but I want to ask you a little bit about it after this round. A site looks to be the push. A little bit of a half commit towards the mid. Check. Hit it. One. No, doesn't even grab one with the shorty.
Cage trigger.
And the A site belongs to Irvine.
Bullseye.
Alden grabs one from above. And the spike is planted.
Revealing area.
4 players looking for the retake against 4.
They needed to keep Looter alive. That was a little bit over aggressive there. And we were talking about how much presence they lose, especially on the post plant here for Irvine. Like very far back. Oh, 25 HP left on Xylus. He is literally 1 shot to the body now in this 2v2.
Left or right. It's gonna be left. Goes Zig, turns around, tries to flare 2 off the right click. Can't get it, but the teammate will.
Woo. If I was Zig and I died there, you know, looking back on the VOD, I'd be really angry. But luckily he survives. But missing those the right clicks with the classic. Whew, I was worried for him there.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Is there a proper term for the right click? I guess the
Alt
burst
fire.
shot? Alt fire. Oh,
The burst shot, I guess. I don't know.
We got some time. Talk to me about the frenzy.
It's just really strong. You could just do so much damage really quickly, especially if you're peeking with teams. The TTK in this game is super low, right? And the frenzy also makes it super low. So I like it. I just like it.
Okay.
I always like the CZ as well.
See, I'm a hater. I'm a hater of the CZ. Xylus starts us off hot with a double pump.
He wasn't able to recover the SMG.
We see a lot of these 4-on-4 fights. A lot of like opening trades. Spike down early. Ryerson with 3. Make that 2 thanks to the flank from Platinum.
Headshot.
And 1 left. Nibbler and Looter bring us to double digits. Irvine 3 away from ending the evening. A nice look for the Zoot suits.
The Zot boys. It's weird because I was actually just researching the Zoot Suit riots just last night.
Riot, really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Interesting interesting song and era for sure.
Yeah, it really was. Irvine now though. This is where things get scary for them. Again, it's that third round. It's that rifle versus SMG disparity. How do they deal with it? And surprisingly enough, they had a lot stacked over at A, but
immediately turned around. Immediately. I wonder what tipped them to immediately turn around.
Go get him.
Middle will be the call. Nobody in ropes rooms. 3 players to their left and 2 making the rotation eventually from A, not moving just yet. 2 players on Irvine still located at A, not making too much noise, but
Revealing area.
still presenting a threat. And avoiding that arrow. Alden knew the entire time, wasn't fooled at all. Secondary shot from Jay. Crosshair placement on point. Secondary, not so much. Ryerson 4 alive versus Irvine's 2. And the spikes returning to A.
he got hurt out. They know.
Yeah.
Rotation's already coming in.
Headshot.
No real choice there, though. Brafasa with a nice... Just kind of, you got to get those shots. Good job. You hit the fundamentals. But unfortunate, time was running out. 15 seconds left on the clock. Got to make noise. Clonk, clonk, clonk around upstairs. And easy for Finch. So 10-5 here. Irvine one more time in control.
This is equal footing, though, this time around. Before it was the SMGs versus the ARs. It's going to be Phantoms versus Phantoms down the line. Where do Irvine approach with this? Currently, though, it looks like they're just going to play this a little bit default and play a little bit more, again, respectfully, is what we're seeing out of both teams right now.
The smoke spam every round is... It's just funny. Everybody's got to go mid. And Nibbler chomping on the enemy team here. Nibbler has really been a standout player tonight, I think, Jamerson.
Well, he has been. He's been so strong for the squad. But Zig as well. There it is. Looter has, I think, been the one player so far that has been struggling just a little bit. I don't know if he hit double digits or not. I forget right now. Over on Bind, even though the first best of 1 he was absolutely clapping, but he's since slowed down here. But Irvine looking to get this 11th round now, as it's just down to Jay by himself. See if he can at least save this for himself going into the next round.
Turns around at the last second. Bad decision. Nibbler 4 kills stronger after that one. And Irvine are 1 away from being 1 away.
Now, what do we see in terms of a buy?
That goes there.
I don't know how much economy they have off the back of this, but they understand the situation they're in. They're already a map down in this best of 3. And so even if they are going to be missing out on some things, they're just going to go all in, spend every last dollar here because it always sucks being on match point for 8 rounds in a row.
I think if you look up force buy in the dictionary, this is the scenario that shows up. The rush is on. Double flash is out. The molly. Platinum is stuck. Can't get the kill either. And Go Zig sends him home. Irvine standing tall here. Ryerson trying to climb up the mountain.
Nowhere to run.
The Sova ultimate gonna come on through. Hits once. And that's it.
Smoke's down.
Zig up top. Spike being planted down below. Up grab. See you later. The cute explosion. That's the 3rd. And Looter with the flank. Daddy. 2 for the underperformer.
Yeah. I've heard of going fishing with dynamite, but like bird hunting, that's a new one. That's a new one.
Fun to watch too. Man, Go Zigger Go Home has really pulled out all the stops here in our second map.
Yeah, Mr. Ziggy D, definitely. Again, we're talking about just some of the powerhouses in collegiate esports, and this is one of those squads, Irvine, like I said, a lot of them making that transition from Overwatch. We're actually having the additional time to do Valorant right now because Overwatch season starts in the fall. So I don't know how many of them are going to be competing on both teams.
Very different games for sure. So it's kind of exciting to see that sort of thing come out. We'll see where players draw their line for sure. Pop, pop. Jay trades out for a real gun. Spike down. Irvine making their play for the tournament. Looter
I know exactly.
puts him 1 step closer, and Ryun joins the party. Jay's gonna answer back, but only momentarily. And it's Brimstone versus the world for Ryerson's tournament dreams. 2 players surround, and they all find the pound. Irvine up 2, and that's the ball game. Congrats to UC Irvine as they take fight night versus Ryerson.
Ryerson definitely put up a fight, though. You got to say, we saw they're on Bind struggling a little bit, but being able to weather the storm for as long as they did up against UCI's offense was great to see. I think one of the bigger telling signs that Irvine was like a better team was how they adjusted to Ryerson's offense. I think they played it extremely well. Ryerson playing this very fundamentally by the book and doing a really good job, especially playing round for round and having answers. But it was ultimately Irvine's adaptability, which I think for a lot of these players, the fact that they have so much familiarity with each other, they've been playing with each other for a really long time, really did show how they were able to make adjustments, how they had trust in each other as well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed kind of watching the answer back. And like I said, something I brought up about Ryerson was that I called them the Charmeleon, right? Kind of 1 step above the lower end teams, but clearly have a little bit to learn here. And I think that's one of the fun things that we get in our fight night is that Ryerson put up a fight. We're actually able to kind of contend, but ultimately, don't bring it home. You see Irvine, we've seen them here a couple of times. At this point, they're fight night vets and they take the game.
Yeah, so hey, let's go. Zot boys, Zot for taking the W. Really proud of you guys. But I'm really excited. Again, this is one of those squads, like I said, powerhouse in collegiate esports, especially when it comes to shooters right now. And they got absolute fraggers, and I think power players on every position.
I think we have an interview, and we do. We're not going home. We're going to go Zig. Ziggy D here joining us from UC Irvine. And you know what, Jamerson? I'm gonna let you start this one off.
Yeah. So I want to know, first off, of course, we saw in the first best of 1 for Ryerson. They started off on Bind. Were you guys watching that match? And what did you guys, if you guys were, what did you glean from it? And how did you adjust for how they were playing?
Honestly, we weren't watching them play on Bind, but we had a really good CT side. So I think, yeah, that helped us a lot.
Yeah, that's great. This is also a squad, like I'd mentioned. I casted a lot of you guys back in the TESPA Collegiate Series for Overwatch. How many of you guys are also going to be competing in Overwatch and Valorant at the same time? Does the time permit for that?
I'm not sure. Like, so maybe Platinum would be playing Overwatch and Valorant, but I'm honestly not too sure. But yeah, this team mostly, aside from me and Looter, those three are going to be the core for next year's Valorant team.
Awesome.
No,
I mean, so far the look that you've looked at Valorant looks really strong. I mean, is this? I guess the question that I wanted to ask is: are you guys more natural Valorant or Counter-Strike type players that are playing on the Overwatch team? Are you more natural Overwatch players playing on the Valorant team?
So Nibbler and Ryan come from like pretty strong CS backgrounds. The other three of us, we just played CS at some point. We actually have a good amount of hours in, but Nibbler would probably be the best out of all of us in CS.
Or
Yeah, it's really exciting, of course, to see my alma mater doing so well. I, of course, love it when you guys win, but I did think that, there might have been a little bit in favor for Ryerson, and so I want to apologize for that right now, of course, not having faith in you guys. But coming into the matchup, what were some of the difficulties that you guys found playing up against them? Like, where were places that you guys thought, oh, we need to make this adjustment to really play against them?
Well, I think the main struggle really came from our bind T side. We were losing a lot of post plants because I don't know, some people were just feeling it, so they were peeking everything and dying. After that, we realized, okay, let's get serious on these post plants and close it out before we choke them out.
The old reel it back in. I know
Yeah.
that. I know how that feels for sure, man. Hey, congrats again. It's been a pleasure. You guys come out to Fight Night and always really tear the house down. So now's your time. Shout out anybody you want. The floor is yours.
Shout out to Looter. He was having a rough time that match, but we love him. We love that he plays Cypher for us every game.
There you go.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, we saw it was a little bit of a difficult time, and that was like one of the adjustments you guys made, I think, just because of how often they're pushing A, I think. But yeah, congratulations once again. Looking forward to you guys, of course, coming back, and I want to see more of UCI, of course, having graduated from there. So congratulations once again, and thank you for joining us.
All right, thank you.
Good stuff there. Ziggy D coming out from UC Irvine. Fun guy, fun stuff, a fun team, and a fun night. These guys go ahead and take the victory. Don't forget, we saw them earlier on. They took down UT Dallas, and then Ryerson beat up Utah in order to find themselves here in the finals. And some good old-fashioned Valorant. Fun to finally finish this one. We started off last week. We had good plans, but the servers didn't. So today we got to tackle it. Final thoughts here, Jamerson.
Again, really excited about the future of collegiate Valorant. I think with a proper structure, having that kind of pipeline, collegiate to pro or something like that is something a lot of players can look really into. We see a lot of times, of course, pro players or a lot of players kind of thinking that their glory years are when they're young, right? And this is their only opportunity. But I think now a lot of people are kind of accepting that, hey, the pipeline from collegiate to pro is definitely doable, that your peak is not when you're like 18, 19, 20, that we can see the peak still be hitting around 26, 27. We're seeing a lot of old players still being a mainstay, of course, in Valorant now, and kind of having a second opportunity at having a pro career. And so you don't always have to put off school. So, for all the collegiate players, for all the prospective pro players out there, don't forget about school, you guys. You can have the best of both worlds.
I feel that. Also, I thank you for standing up for boomers like us. You can be 27 plus and still find those wins. I still can't find them, but we certainly find a good time every time we come out here with Fight Night. Shout out to GiantSlayerTV. We do this every other Monday, Tuesdays. We also have some high octane action where we bring out the semi-pros, sometimes even the pros, and you definitely don't want to miss it. I want to give a shout out to everybody behind the scenes, like I said, and of course, sizzle.gg, highlights in the making. It's a lot of fun. You got to play hard, and they will show you off. That does it for us here on Fight Night. We'll catch you later. Bye.